Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. Live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
It is the Thursday edition.
Nobody told me it was just you and me today.
The Where's Wilde edition. On assignment. He's off for the rest of the week. So it's Nelly and Old T.
Oh, dream team.
Holding it down in the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison today and tomorrow. 100.5 ESPN Madison, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand, wherever you get your podcasts. Watch us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, anywhere you can find us. My name is Jesse Nelson. I normally produce this show. Today I slide over into the host chair to join in the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison, the Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher. And he came into the studio to join me today. Good morning, Tausch.
Good morning. Quick question. If you're coming up, so I'm coming up whatever street this is right before our studio. We don't need to get whatever the name of the street is.
Sure, okay.
If somebody is stopped to parallel park, and you know how much I appreciate a good parallel park. It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, you would compete in the Olympics of it if
I don't
possible.
know if I'm that good. I was thinking about it. I'm good. I don't know if I'm that good. Do you stop and allow and wait for the person to park, or do you zoom around them? So it's obviously this street is tight. You got a bunch of construction. There's a hotel going up, all this other stuff. And you got cars on both sides. But the dude or gal, I don't know who is in there, pulls the car up, puts the blinker on in perfect form. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not going to sit and wait. So if you zoom around the said parallel parker, is that frowned upon, or what's the proper etiquette?
Well, I think it all depends. It's a great question. I think it all depends on spacing. I just ran into this the other day.
It was tight.
In downtown Sun Prairie, I was trying to do a quick parallel park on one of the main streets there. And with some people coming and some pedestrian traffic going on, like, you kind of get one chance to do it. And if you miss, you just got to move on and go to the next one, because you don't want to hold up traffic for an hour and a half trying to parallel park. So I think it's up to the parallel parker. First of all, if you're like way, cocked out where you're halfway out into the street, you don't want to be there.
This person did a really good job. Pulled up tight.
So it's a good parallel park.
You got to be tight to the car that you're parking, and then you got to make sure you whip it. But I did zoom around, and I was thinking I would prefer the people to zoom around me too, because it adds another layer of pressure, because you have to stay 2 car lengths back. Now, if we're doing a contest, which I think at some point we will, I think you need to keep the car back, because that pressure, that's like Jordan Love trying to get a first down when you need a touchdown to go win. You got to get the first down. Nobody's going to sit there and, take your time. No, there's pressure on you to do it.
Well, except for Wilde with the conversation you were having yesterday about, everybody's going to be learning and growing, and it's okay. We're going to hear a little bit of that conversation coming up before our buddy Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike joins us at 9:30 this morning.
I don't want to fight with Evan today. I know this has turned into a debate. If it naturally, organically happens, yes. I don't want this to turn into First Take. I feel like we're starting to get this into First Take.
It's a little First Takey, but it's just one segment a week, and he's your sparring
Plus, you
partner.
guys,
it's okay.
I really feel like I'm ganged up on, because you guys are all scared of Evan.
Well,
you are. Well, and he's trying to act like he's not our boss. He is your guys' boss.
I lost the sparring match last week, and I wasn't even playing.
TKO'd.
Yeah, I wanted to sit on ringside, and suddenly I got knocked out.
What's the verdict on this, Hunter? I think do you stay back and wait, or do you zoom around?
I'm zooming around the second I have an opportunity.
Okay.
To. I don't want to sit there and stare at somebody try and do it.
Hunter
I actually
Vaughn,
kind of
producer
enjoy
today.
watching, critiquing a good parallel park, and I'm of the belief you get 2 movements with your parallel park. If you want to be perfect, you get 2.
You
I
might
don't
be
think
onto
you
something
get the
there.
3.
Yeah.
If you get 3, that is average. Anything under, if we're prize picking it, you set the number at 2.5. That would be your more or less.
I would agree.
You get 2 is a perfect parallel park. 1's a perfect parallel park. That's the rarest of all. It's like an albatross in golf. Then you get to 2, that's a good solid birdie. 3 is par. That's how I would describe a good parallel park.
844-770-3776 is the ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line where you can join the conversation all show long today. Do you zoom around the parallel parker or do you wait and allow them for a turn to finish the deal? I would say this. So if you're because sometimes you get got by the unexpected parallel parker in front of you. You're coming down the main road, all of a sudden, bang, there it goes slamming on the brakes. They want that spot on the right-hand side. You're a little too close.
What error do you think most poor parallel parkers, they turn it too tight and get curbed? That back wheel gets curbed?
I think they crank too early.
Yeah, and that's when you end up with a tire curber.
Yeah, you crank too early where you go mirror to mirror, and then you back up, and then when it's mirror to bumper, then you crank it, and then when the hood comes around the front, then you come back.
Yeah, my arrogance got me last night. But we did, Matt LePay and I did Coach Fickle's show last night, and we were on Breeze Terrace, and I thought, you know what, I was right next to the entry point to the show. I'm going to be able to jam in here, and we got these the Coors Light cases. That was about the space I had my Chevy Tahoe, and I arrogantly thought, I could do this. Old T couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
Epic fail on that last night. That's my parallel parking minute this morning.
So I'd say if you're too close to the person as they're beginning the parallel park, you have to go around, get out of the way, let them have their space. Then if you're behind them from that point on, they have enough space, give them one chance, like you said, 2 to 3 moves to get in and take care of business on the first try.
You don't get 3 moves.
You get the I'm counting the stop as a move. So you get a stop, a turn, a backup, a turn, and then a finish the job.
2 moves.
And if you fail at that, then everyone's going around you at that point.
It's time for you to go.
You get
you
one
got to go find a different
wait.
spot. You don't get 2 opportunities at this. And I think most cars now auto parallel park too, right? Can't you just hit a button and it'll parallel park for you?
Some cars are able to do that, the self-parking cars or the self-driving car. Now, I do have a question. So, Geriot, our buddy Geriot in Canton, Ohio.
I hope Geriot, I saw Geriot text. Hope his youth football game went well last night.
So, with the parameters being set by Tausch and him saying he'd be in the Hall of Fame for parallel parking.
I might have been arrogant about that.
Can we assume he's a one-turn guy?
I will hit a lot of 1 turns. Because if there's enough space, yes. But
so you're saying it's the albatross, but you do it on the regular? It's Hall of Fame worthy?
I think I'm more of a 2-turn cat, typically, because, again, I like to be arrogant with my parallel parking. I don't want to go in, there's a wide open space like in Seinfeld. You can pull in head first. I don't even want that. I want to push myself. I want to get better. I want to improve. I want to grow. So 2 is usually where I'm at.
844-770-3776.
God, but it all just stems back from that one glorious day in San Francisco when I parked that 18-passenger van in a spot about as small as those Coors Light cases, and I rammed in there, and all the looks on my nieces, nephews, and kids' faces, the amount of pride that I took with that parallel park. Oh, baby, that was good.
Forgive me for asking this. Not everyone listens every day, and I take a lot of days off.
Those are all fair points.
Even some that I'm on the show, I feel like I'm off sometimes. Why were you driving an 18-passenger van
in
San Francisco? We had a crew,
and we were doing. We ended up getting a bigger van because we did like 3 national parks, so a lot of drive time, and we wanted a little more space, a little more comfort. So we went with the big boy or big girl van, and man, I'm telling you, I look. You always want your kids to look at you with amazement. Whether it's, wow, what a great job you did on the radio or playing football or whatever you're doing, get a master's degree, whatever it might be. I don't know if I've seen more pride in my kid's face when we did that great parallel park. It's still something. I won't forget the gleam in those kids' eyes when I pulled off that parallel park.
I believe you. 844-770-3776. It's Wilde and Tausch.
What is your most like goofy proud moment? Is it something about bowling?
Well, I mean, the $2.99 game is the first thing that comes to mind. But exactly, like that's why I'd call it goofy because, like on the surface, throwing a $2.99 is really good, but also like I failed. I had the whole bowling alley watching me as a junior in high school, and I threw a perfect ball and left a ringing 10 pin, and I got a $2.99. It's the best thing I ever did. Goofy, proud moment. Umpiring, I'd say, like a lot of Little League umpiring in Muskego when I'd have some parents come up to me after the game and be like,
great job.
You know what? You were the best umpire we had all season. Ah, thanks, Sally. And just walk back to my car. Like, it's a very anticlimactic moment where it's just, yeah, you did
so
well.
there was no gleam in the eyes, no glisten.
If anyone could be watching me as I did it, I would say yes. But like, my parents didn't come to watch me umpire. Maybe once. But like that wasn't
actually a good question. Why would your parents not come to watch you umpire? They come to watch you play.
Yeah, because it's like work. Like they don't come and sit here in the studio every day.
Parents come to watch me work when I play.
Should we start selling tickets to come watch Wilde and Tausch in the Everlight Solar Studios?
Sure. Now I'm on board.
I do have one follow while we're talking about my parents for a moment. I was talking to my mom and dad on the way in. A little follow up to the purse.
Was your mom okay
yesterday.
with the how she was portrayed yesterday?
She thinks it was inaccurately portrayed.
But that's how you portrayed it. We weren't there.
Right, and I didn't inaccurately portray it.
Did she think she had less Coors Lights and was more chill?
Yes, but her biggest gripe was with how we portrayed the turning around of the car. By the time she was on the phone with me, the reason they were coming back is Uncle Mark went rogue and decided he was going to turn the car around regardless of whether I answered the phone or not or was able to go get it. Like, Uncle Mark was a little impatient, apparently, and said he's just turning the car around and going back. So that's that's how that was resolved. It didn't really matter if I said I would go get the purse or not. The car was already in motion. But regardless, a follow-up. So she had a free happy birthday mug from the place that we went. And
Simmy, I know Simmy's listening.
So the reason that she forgot her purse, she claims, is because she was worried about remembering her birthday mug on the table. Well, then when they
Did she get a balloon put around it too?
She did not, no, but she would love it if they'd had.
There's a helium shortage. I don't know if you heard
There is
that.
a helium shortage, yes. Unexpected. So she got back to Uncle Mark's house and then went the rest of the way home. She left the birthday mug in Uncle Mark's car. So now,
I'm starting to get a little worried about.
So I mean, look, it was a big day. We had a big day on the course. We had a big dinner. You know, the Coors Lights were flowing in the birthday mug. She remembered to bring her purse home from Uncle Mark's house, but now the birthday mug is in the.
How many times did she get that birthday mug filled with Coors Light?
More than once.
Okay.
So, can she like? How many times can you forget something and ask the person that was driving to do you a favor?
She wanted to go back again and pick it after she picked the purse up, go back?
She left it in Uncle Mark's car, but now it's like, well, Uncle Mark, if you happen to be swinging by Muskego, could you drop off that birthday mug? It's in your back seat.
Tell you what, I can understand.
You babysit it,
I
wash
understand
it for
a lot
me?
more now about you, listening to you talk about your mom. I get it. I'm starting to understand the whole Nelson Marcheski dynamic a lot better.
Ryan and Madison, I wouldn't pay for tickets to watch the show, but if you gave me a ticket, I'd bring some Coors Light and sit right there and hang out with you guys.
Well, there you go. I actually, what I want to kind of do is organize a parallel park off. I think that could be a ton of fun. We block some stuff off. We have different cars coming up, and everybody has to park the same car. It's going to be a Chevy Tahoe. That's what we're parking.
Yeah, the Tahoe would be one of the trickier ones.
We're going to do Chevy Tahoe parking. The only problem is we have to make sure our friends at AmFam have the right insurance. We have everybody's insured properly. Because there is some dynamics. Do we do cones? Do you put cones? Because we don't want any damage. I want to pull this off. We want to do an annual parallel park off.
The Wilde and Tausch parallel park off, part of Wilde and Tausch Fest, coming to festival ground.
I think you think you're pretty good at parallel
I am pretty good at parallel parking.
Most people. Hunter, do you think you're a pretty good parallel parker?
I can do it, but I'm avoiding it. That's a last resort for me.
You like the angle parking, don't you? You like when you can pull into those angle spots.
Absolutely.
I think that's such a cop-out when people do the angle parking.
I actually think the angle parking is sneaky tough because, like, it seems so easy that sometimes you take it a little too wide and you end up on the line, and if one person's off, the whole thing is off. Like, the angle parking, I don't think is as easy as everyone makes it out to be.
The toughest part of the whole thing is when someone else crowds that yellow line and is over it, and then you have to. And then I've gotten a time where someone left a note calling me a J-Wagon because I parked there. And I'm thinking, well, you didn't realize old boy parked there before me. Set a bad tone for the whole thing. The dominoes fall when you get a bad parker. I think as a country, I think we do a pretty good job parking, though. I do.
I'd agree. Parking seems to be one of America's strengths. And another strength in the state of Wisconsin, Tausch, is when you need new windows, you call Gina Della.
And executing incredible plays, parking, whatever it might be, Team Pella, they do that. Products with limited lifetime warranties, incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass, stylish windows with hidden screens that will make game days a breeze. This Pella play proves to be the game-winning tutter. Make monthly payments as low as $19 per window, $75 per patio door, and you can get a free quote at PellaWI.com today. 6.9% APR financing for 120 months. Certain restrictions do apply. See showroom for details. This offer ends on Halloween.
To get ready for our friend Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, scheduled to appear coming up at 9:30, we'll get Tausch in debate form by listening to how Jason asked head coach Matt LaFleur about the debate you guys had when I was off on Tuesday. Growth versus failure. How'd the head coach address it? We will talk about it. We'll hear the head coach, and Tausch will respond. Next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Ruggability. We straight made that word up. How else to describe the otherwise indescribable rugged, capable, incredible versatility and affordability of a Honda SUV? Car and Driver calls Honda the winningest brand in 10 Best history. Your kids will call it totally lit. But we like ruggability, and you'll like the incredifantabulous deals, so see your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer today. Honda gets Wisconsin.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
All right, Team Pella, listen up.
Thanks, John Kuhn. Customers love our products with limited lifetime warranties. Check out these big plays. Incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass.
No interference on that play, Coach.
And stylish windows with hidden screens that make game days a breeze.
Can it get any better?
It can. With monthly payments as low as $19 per window, $75 per patio door, and a free quote at PellaWI.com.
Let's go.
6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers on 10/31/2023.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesh Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Have you been thinking of updating your bath or shower? Well, Kohler Services is a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned business in Wisconsin for 150 years. Kohler is the only manufacturer offering fast, professional installation and care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote and tell them that I sent you. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Hey, it's Hunter Vaughn. ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see teams making an impact in their community. Nominate your local team today at ESPNMadisonGameChangers.com.
Dash the Dane. That's right, Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company has expanded their delivery offerings with DoorDash. New customers get $5 off your first order of $25 or more. And don't forget, Dash Pass subscribers always receive free delivery. Order delivery today at GreatDanePub.com or on the DoorDash app and get food delivered from the Great Dane closest to you. Downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Today on ESPN Radio. Down 2-1, the Braves face a must-win Game 4. Will they survive? Or are the Phillies moving on to the NLCS?
Tonight on 100.5 ESPN.
So things got a little heated here on Tuesday between you and Wilde.
Yeah.
Talking growth and failure.
Yeah, I think it's just two different perspectives, which is great. That's why people seem to like the show, is because we have Jason coming from it from a non-biased journalist and me coming from it from a player's perspective. And I just know how the players in that locker room and how the coaches in that locker room felt. I know it wasn't about, oh, shucks, growing pains. Oh, no. That's just not how the world works. Jason, on the other hand, I do believe I think he really likes Matt LaFleur and is constantly, I don't want to say he's toadying. I'm not going to say that he's toadying for Matt LaFleur. But I think he does like Matt LaFleur. And I think he understands that there's a lot of challenges, and Matt can't say that. So he eloquently, I thought, put that out there and said, what do you want Matt LaFleur to do? And my only pushback is, this is Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur's not a rookie. He has had 2 or 3 off seasons with Jordan Love. Remember that. It hadn't been just, you throw Jordan Love at it. Yeah, there's a lot of young players. Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs should be better than what they've been. All of those things, that's the disappointment I have. He seems to be giving a much longer pass to LaFleur in this offense, and I don't think those guys want that. I don't.
So today it's Jesse and Tausch, but Wilde and Tausch is the name of the show. And Jason Wilde asked Matt LaFleur about growth versus failure after you guys had the debate on Tuesday morning when I was off. Jason went to Matt LaFleur's media availability that afternoon and asked the head coach about growth versus failure. Here is the question and the response from the head coach. It's a little lengthy, Tausch. Settle in.
Shocking.
I got into a pretty heated argument about this today. I don't usually do that except with Rob. Do you believe in growth through failure? And when you fail, how do you turn that into growth?
Well, I think as long as you're learning from it, and again, not making the same mistake twice, I think there's a lot of good that can come out of adversity if you stay, tough-minded and persistent, and you don't let it bring you down. And that's what I told our guys. I was like, nobody's feeling sorry for us. And if we feel sorry for ourselves, we will regress. But as long as we take that approach, like, hey, we're going to roll up our sleeves and get back to work, then you got a chance to show some progress. And that's what I want to see. I want to see that fight from our team, and I believe that we will.
So do you think you regressed yesterday?
Well, I think anytime you don't get, I don't want to use the word regressed, but certainly the result wasn't what we wanted, and I thought there was plenty of opportunities there. I thought, like I said last night, I thought our defense played well enough to give us an opportunity to win. Mm-hmm. When you look back at it, we basically gave up 14 points defensively. We spotted them 3 from an offensive standpoint with that turnover. I thought it was a great display of sudden change defense, forcing the 3-and-out and the field goal. We got the one turnover that set up a touchdown. That was a good example coming out the second half of showing really good complementary football, which we haven't always shown that consistently. And even yesterday didn't do it. But, I don't want to use the word regress because I do think that there were some good things. It's just we just got to make sure that we learn from our mistakes.
So when you look at Jordan, I know from the outside, the expectations were raised with what he did in the first 2 games. You're not worried about outside expectations, you're worried about in here. But how do you kind of look at there is kind of a line of demarcation in terms of how well he played in the first two and how the last three have gone. How do you kind of feel about where he's at overall?
I think that, I think there's definitely some plays that we'd all like to have back. Just like there's some calls I'd like to have back as well. And quite frankly, all the spotlight's going to be placed, or the majority of the spotlight's going to be placed on the quarterback, and that's not always the case. We have an opportunity in the 2-minute drive, and we have back-to-back drop balls. I mean, it is what it is. Like, we got to make those plays to help put us in better position, and maybe that last play doesn't happen. We got beat up front on the last play that forced a scramble drill, because if you go back and watch the tape, I mean, Christian was behind the corner. So it gets magnified. It always comes down to the quarterback. That's what you guys like to write about. But it's the truth. Or the coaching. But it truly is. That's what's so great about the sport, is it truly takes all 11. And I know you guys want to bust my chops saying that's coach speak and whatever, but I truly believe that. And I think you see it on the tape every week. When you have great plays, it's everybody doing their job. And when you have bad plays, it could be just one person not doing their job. And that's just the way it goes.
All right, so a lot to dissect there. Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch.
I really feel like LaFleur emboldened my argument.
Why?
Because he's sitting there saying he doesn't want to use the word regress, but that's what it is. The team has not improved from where it was. It
sounded to me like he thought regressed was like a buzzword he did not want to put into the ether.
I respect that. Listen, Matt LaFleur's job is to continue the messaging of helping his football team. It's not about us, not about fans. That's not where his head's at. But he knows that what happened Monday against the Raiders wasn't acceptable. And he's not going to sit there and he's not going to say regressed, but he's also not saying, yeah, we're improving at the clip we want. I don't want him saying, yeah, we're just getting incrementally better, but because you're not. What we saw Monday was not. And to Homer's point yesterday, I get the fact everybody has clunkers. I don't care what team. The 15-1 team had a clunker out in Kansas City, and then unfortunately had a clunker in the playoffs. That happens in the NFL. Totally get it. That wasn't a clunker game. That's what they've been doing. And they just didn't do it. They actually did it a little bit worse. So for me, that's what's so frustrating, and I think I'm speaking for some fans, not all, that feel that way. We want to see more. You know who else wants to see more? The guy that was just talking. That was abundantly clear. So that's why I say my argument, my talking point, everything that I've said, I feel like is pretty much what Matt LaFleur is saying.
The one reason why I would say that I wouldn't be totally on your team on that side of the argument is because it depends on what your expectations were coming into the season, right? Like coming into the season.
I think my expectations are pretty fair.
Jason,
not like a borderline playoff team. Not a Super Bowl contender. That was my expectations coming.
Yeah.
Jason's was to be pretty bad.
Team. Yeah. So if you expected a 5 to 6 win team,
so he's going to spin the narrative that fits that, just like you tried to spin the Brewers' narrative as not making the playoffs with Dunzo. That's what I'm trying to fight against. You want to react and see. Jason's also said, "Oh, this team's better than I thought." He said that, not me. After 3 weeks.
Well, I think what you're seeing now is they beat the Bears, who are the worst team in football, worse than anyone else that we expect. They're worse than the Cardinals. They're worse than the Cardinals.
They weren't worse than the Commanders last week.
Well, that's true. Every team can have a clunker, I'm told. The Packers blew a game in Atlanta. They
stole a game against New Orleans.
They stole a game against New Orleans, so you could fit on the fence both of those games.
Like that Atlanta game, I wasn't freaking out. I wasn't nearly as concerned as I am now because that Atlanta game, that's football. That was just give and take, yin and yang.
But they had a clunker against Detroit. They had a clunker against the Raiders.
Detroit is better.
Detroit is a better team, and they had a clunker against the Raiders.
So I wouldn't even say clunker against Detroit. I liked the scrap and the comeback and the fight that they had. And I'm not saying it wasn't I thought defensively they played a good game. in Las Vegas. A really good game.
But, I mean, break it down by quarter. Through the first 20 quarters of the year, they've played, what, 6 good quarters?
It's just been way too – and we assumed it would be inconsistent. I knew that there would be some bad spots. All I'm saying is, who's getting better? The O-line isn't getting better. Jordan Love, has he gotten better? Romeo Doubs, has he gotten better? Has Christian Watson gotten better?
I don't think we should discredit the injuries that have impacted that,
we always said all year, don't care about the record. Throw it out the window. That's what everybody said. And to a certain degree, I agree. But I can't there's a scoreboard for a reason. You are going to be judged differently with a young team. Totally get that. But just tell me who's gotten better on the offensive side of the football. Tell me somebody that's like, man, has he popped? Is Musgrave gotten a lot better?
Well, I guess he started at 0, so you could argue that he's getting playing time.
I'm not saying nobody's gotten. I'm just asking, who's gotten a lot better?
Jordan Love and Musgrave didn't have playing time before they get it now.
Who are you super confident saying, yep, that's going to be my guy? Because we're all talking Wildes especially. Well, we're going to peak in 24. We're going to be a lot better. We're going to be a playoff team, all this stuff. Great. What makes you think that? After you saw what happened Monday. Now, again, why I love this league is things change. And your thoughts and predictions, everything evolves off of what you saw, what you're seeing. It can be all this lead up and everything else. But what we just witnessed and saw, this is not a very good football team right now on offense. Not a very good football team at all. Is it going to get better? God, I hope so. But it hasn't gotten better from week 1, and that's what we're measuring. Who's getting better? Who's improving? You tell me, because I'm not seeing it.
844-770-3776. Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio is scheduled to appear next. Tausch, perhaps before Evan joins us, you should chill with an ice cold Coors Light.
Yeah, I'm going to need to chill because I know the scorekeeping will be coming. And I'm going to chill with my friends at Coors Light. Coors Light brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged because it's made to chill. Born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado in 1978, Coors Light is refreshing. It is crisp, and it's only 102 calories. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Tausch doesn't want to debate this week. We'll find out what happens when Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio joins us next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at titostailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate back tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit titostailgate.com. Must be 21 years old to enter. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
After every Green Bay game, there's only one place to react.
I'm starting to raise expectations when you think of all the weapons they have now.
Oh, God, yes.
Join Gabe Neitzel, Homer, and Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher on Green Bay Game Night. Your one-stop shop for analysis, insight, and maybe even overreaction.
Take that up back, Henry. I ain't interested in all that. That play needs to go the way of the White Buffalo.
Green Bay Game Night, every week on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
You can drive cutting-edge design. 2023 Audis are on the lot and ready for delivery. You can save $7,500 on select Audi EVs with the AFS EV lease bonus. See dealer for details and exclusions. Eligibility is subject to credit approval through Audi Financial Services. Cannot be combined with national customer credit. Offer expires October 31st. Stop in and test drive today. Check out our website to see our current electric vehicle inventory and our monthly specials. The search for your Audi begins and ends at Audi Madison off the Beltline and Rimrock Road. Drive yours today.
When you want to show just how you feel, come to Chalmers Jewelers. Our custom jewelers have been working day and night to come up with the most amazing custom jewelry. Truthfully, in the 30 years I've been in business, we have the largest inventory of custom jewelry that we have ever had. Amazing prices, amazing selection, and one-of-a-kind pieces. Come see our incredible variety at either location or chalmersjewelers.com.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Big trailers and big opportunity. Since 1962, Stoughton Trailers has been a family-owned and operated business. With competitive wages and excellent benefits, plus growth and advancement opportunities, Stoughton Trailers is an exciting place to grow your career. Join the collaboration, innovation, and dynamic team atmosphere at Stoughton Trailers. With positions now open in production, operations, finance, sales, engineering, supply chain, and more. Go to stojobs.com to apply today. Stoughton Trailers, big opportunity.
Madison athletes seeking elite training need to get started today at Total Athlete Performance. TAP is here to serve and educate the serious athlete with speed, agility, and semi-private training options. Sessions are now available in both Windsor and the new TAP facility inside the Verona Athletic Center. Also access remote training plans anytime, anywhere with the Total Athlete Performance app. Visit tapwisconsin.com for sign-up info, including monthly payment options. That's tapwisconsin.com.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
If you want a fresh twist on surf and turf, look no further than North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. Inspired by their time living in the Alaskan Gulf in southern Texas, owners Keith and Aaron brought together unique culinary backgrounds to create a truly authentic American restaurant here in Madison. After expanding to 2 more locations in DeForest and Verona, you can savor smoky, wood-fired barbecue and freshly prepared seafood from around the country. Explore their full menu and dining options at eatnorthandsouth.com. That's eatnorthandsouth.com.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen, UW-Madison alum. Listen to me every day from 5 to 9 and join my fellow Badgers, Brad Nortman and Ben Bruss, with Kyle Wallace every day from 2 to 4 on 100.5 ESPN.
Jesse and Tausch today on Wilde and Tausch with Jason Wilde on assignment for the remainder of the week. He'll be back on Monday as the Packers enjoy a bye week, and so does Jason for a couple of days. We are now joined by Tausch's sparring partner.
Is this his new deal? He's my sparring partner.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because
okay.
Sitting back behind the glass, that's what it's been the last 3 weeks.
You, and you were sitting in the stands.
Yeah. So then they throw me back into the ring today, apparently, with Jason out. It is our friend Evan Cohen, unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, weekday mornings, 5 to 9 a.m. In Madison, 5 to 7 a.m. on ESPN Milwaukee. Good morning, Evan. How are you this morning?
You know, Jesse, there's an interesting storyline that I did not realize was developing until I just heard you intro the show. So now you could be the sparring partner. Tausch, you know, I have filled in, as you know, many times on many different shows.
You're a very popular host, I've heard, yes.
If I'm the fill-in with the regular, I always go with the regular first and then me. In other words, I would go with, along with Mark Tauscher, Jesse Nelson in for Jason Wilde.
Yeah.
Did you notice that Jesse went with Jesse and Tausch?
Yes, I did notice that, yes. And
that is a little interesting. Do you not feel that way?
No, because I know Jesse. I know what makes Jesse tick. He has a monster ego. You know that. You've dealt with Jesse enough.
Yeah, I'm putting me first if I get the opportunity on this show.
Yeah. I'm not shocked by that.
Tony wasn't available at that time. But
anyway, that's fair. Tony and Tausch also sounds good, for the record.
TNT. Evan, I listened to your show again this morning like I do every morning. First off, I love, what is it, Beaver Dam? You had the Beaver Dam.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Was that a sweat?
How great is that?
That was really cool.
So basically, we have put the invitation out to all of the stations across the country. Send us stuff, we'll display it, and we'll hype you. Because basically coming in and out of every break, I know I should say it's the Jesse Nelson Show here on Unsportsmanlike, but instead I say, listening on all the great stations across the country, and then I do a little including, right? And ESPN Radio in Beaver Dam, a part of the ESPN Wisconsin team, 1430, sent us great hoodies. They were front and center today, and they got some great promotions.
Love it.
So it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, guess what? With Jesse Nelson in charge here at the ESPN Madison I'm guessing ESPN Milwaukee will probably have something sent to you before Jesse. Is that a fair
I was
going to
ask you, what are you planning on sending? I'm sending Greeny a quarter zip. I don't know about the morning
send
show
that to
guys. Yeah.
All right, Evco. So Jason and I had some good battles this week on growth versus youth and everything else, and I'm looking at this from the player's perspective, and that was a clunker of a loss. There was no growth there. That was just disappointment, and you should be very irritated with yourself, especially on the offensive side of the ball. How do you look at the idea of the expectation? Now your Patriots stink, so you've had great expectations. You finally have conceded that the Patriots stink. How do you look at it from the Packers' perspective nationally that, yeah, there's going to be growing pains and things, but that was a bad loss on Monday night?
It was. I understand that you would say that, but I'm shocked. I also speak from the player's perspective. I don't know why you had to exclude in that.
Because you're not a player. You know that. But, Evan, you know you're not. No offense.
I mean, why am I not a player? I played high school football. How can that not be considered a player?
Well, play is probably okay. Continue. Yeah, continue.
I mean, when you paid Jim Polzine to do that story on you, and he did it on the pickleball, you wanted to be portrayed as a pickleball player. What, do you consider yourself a pickleball player?
I do, yes.
Yeah, well, I guess I didn't pay you enough.
After this morning's results,
and say that I'm a former player.
After this morning's results, I shouldn't be. But continue.
He might knock you out in record time.
Let's move on. No, I got a knockout punch. I got a knockout punch coming. I got a knockout punch coming. All right, Evan, you were a great high school player that had one snap, whatever. Can you just get to the Packers' point of view here?
Yeah, I started my junior and senior year. Anyway, so basically, here's the way I look at it. I have to answer a question with a question.
Wildy is back. Okay, great.
No, I'm asking seriously, Tausch. There were no clunkers of games or shows or anything professionally that you've done in life that you're just like, boy, that clunker actually teaches me something?
Yeah, Evan, absolutely there is. But my point is, we saw this. We had all this unknown coming into the season with Jordan Love, a bunch of the young skill guys that they have, and we saw, okay, here's where they started from. So here's what the expectations are. And in the last 3 weeks, the whole point of this season, everybody said during the offseason, not going to be about the record, not a playoff team, all this stuff, but I want to see that you're getting better, you're growing. And yes, every team I've been a part of, every team that I know of has had games or days that just didn't go their way. Outside of the 72 Dolphins, I'm guessing every football team has had that. But what we saw,
and even then,
I just don't know.
Even the 72 Dolphins weren't a high-scoring team, and they played less games. So
okay, yeah,
your point,
exactly.
So we'll give you that.
So,
this
thing. Idea of regression, and I believe that the offense has gotten worse. That was my point. It's not about to lose to a team. I think the Raiders stink. I don't think they're coached very well. I think their offense is blah, and their defense, they have one guy. They're missing two of their starting corners. I was expecting more in basically a pseudo home game. That's why I was upset. And it's not about, it's young. There's only so many excuses you can make. At some point, you have to go out and deliver the goods, and they didn't do that, and that's why I was frustrated.
So you're basically saying if you're in the first year of a system or whatever it is, with kind of new people on board, that at some point you got to see some development or Mark Tauscher is going to be critical of you, correct?
Correct.
All right, go ahead on Luke Fickell. Let me hear.
Well, Luke Fickell's lost one game. Well, no, there's no hesitation. I'm going to say this. The Luke Fickell, what I saw in Purdue and what I saw last week is much better than what I saw in Washington State.
And guess what?
Much
I agree
better.
With you. And I'm on board with him, just the way that I'm on board with Jordan Love. This is all a process. They have to be better in Game 17 than they are in Game 1. That is the whole part of this. That is the biggest part of
were
this
they
whole
better
thing,
in Game 5 than they were in Game 1?
But it doesn't matter. Tausch, that's a ridiculous argument.
No, it's not a ridiculous argument.
Were
they better in Game 1 than they were in Game 4?
But it doesn't matter if
Game
you're better
3?
in 4 or 5. It's a 17-game sample
Yeah?
size. You're looking at it based on – so fine. You want to go Mark Murphy style and you want to make the evaluation after 8 or 9 games? That's what you want to do.
That's what he said he's doing.
Right?
And he's the president of the team.
And we all sat here and we said that was ridiculous
I
to
agree.
even put that out there.
Yeah.
And they very much hedged their bet on Jordan Love, okay? And Tausch, I know you heard me say this, and I'll reiterate it for the ESPN Wisconsin audience. It's real simple. When you have a quarterback, you either need to be sold that he's going to be the guy on his rookie contract or have a first-ballot Hall of Famer. The in-between contracts or evaluations get you nowhere. Sadly, what the Packers have done with Jordan Love is they put him in that in-between. Because technically, correct me if I'm wrong, he's not actually on his rookie deal. He's on a restructured, modified extension, and so they're hedging their bets on him. Closer to rookie deal than Hall of Famer, obviously. But I don't look at this and say, well, 5 games, that's it. I didn't see the progression. If I don't feel like after Game 17 this season that this guy is significantly better than where he was that started the season, then I have an issue. After Game 5, no. Was it a clunker on Monday that everyone watched? Absolutely. Also, I'll give you one other thing. Tash, when you look back at the last 20 years in the NFL, just off the top of your head, the best quarterbacks over the last 20 years or so in the NFL.
Okay, Rodgers, Brady.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, who else? Brees?
You can put Drew Brees in there, yep.
Mahomes?
Yep.
Okay, you got 4 right there. Guess what all 4 of them have in common? All 4 of them started the exact same way that Jordan Love started, as a backup. And all 4 of them took time to develop as a backup. Different time for all of them. Brady won his Super Bowl in his first year starting. Mahomes was the MVP right in his first year starting. I get it. But all of them started the same way. Jordan Love, I believe, still has an aspect of his career that has started the right way, that his development is still there, and I do look at growth over the course of the body of work, not week by week.
Okay.
That's 1-0 me.
Maybe. I'm not gonna sit there and say
getting a maybe is a win there.
What
Evan.
you're looking for, though,
Where's
is
the Gina Della drop with maybe? Where's that one, Jesse?
that would have been a good drop.
Maybe.
That would have been a good drop. All right, I'll give you that one, but I'm coming for a knockout. So when you're doing sports radio, and you've been doing it a long time, and you've been doing it great, just ask you. And now you're doing a national show, and it's been fantastic. You want to make sure you have strong opinions, correct? That's one of the things that you're looking for. I know Chris Canty, Smallman, everybody that's doing it makes takes. They want to have a point. Is that a fair assessment of your job?
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay. Well, I heard you this week say this,
oh boy.
And I literally thought to myself, he has been doing this longer than anybody, and supposedly better than everybody. You made this
Allegedly.
statement. Why can't we just sit back and say both Belichick and Brady are both equally responsible for the championships? That's what you said.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, that's not sports radio. That's not what you do. Oh, great. Hey,
okay,
guys.
fine.
No. Don't pull this.
Wrong.
Don't ask this.
Wrong.
Don't ask who this is, because they're both equally available for their championships.
Wrong.
Don't you dare
Wrong,
make me
wrong,
pick
wrong.
between Belichick and Brady. That's what happened.
Wrong.
Hey, you don't have to get. Hey,
this. It's
don't jump on the train yet. I know the train's sitting there. You can defend your position before you go.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm sitting in a seat. There are cars driving by.
I heard a train run by you.
There's no train.
That's what I
car.
heard.
You don't know the difference between a honk and a train?
Don't distract yourself. Defend your point.
I'm not distracted. You seem to be distracted.
No, I'm
sound
fine.
like a train at all.
I'm fine.
Maybe
he's
Hunter can
knocked
get
out.
the audio
All right,
of
thank
that
you.
honk, and
Thank
people
you,
can decide
Evan.
if it
Evan
sounds
has
like a
just
train or a
officially
honk.
been knocked out. He's bleeding.
No, I haven't even responded.
That's exactly right, because you're biding your time to
What
figure
I was
it out.
about to say is when you attack Belichick and Brady with Evan, you better not miss on this one.
Oh, I
so I'm
didn't
excited
miss.
to hear what he says.
Yeah, what does he got?
Here's the thing. Okay, so Jesse, here's the problem with Tausch's argument. He set it up through the prism of sports talk radio.
It's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
That is your
I
job.
understand. It's gonna help, and it's gonna help me win the argument.
Oh, I'm
okay.
sure. Yeah.
Here we go. Through the prism of sports talk radio and the way that we have these conversations, every single person likes to put a versus between Brady and Belichick. And sometimes in sports talk radio, when you have a conviction that you actually believe in and a point you believe in that is different than the masses, if you actually believe in it, sometimes it can stand out. And in this case, I refuse to do the Brady versus Belichick like everyone else does, and I like to take the path lesser taken, which is how come we never sit back and say, one wouldn't be as good without the other. Pick the one. And how come
Tom
we
Brady
don't look at it?
Good. Tom Brady was pretty good in Tampa without Belichick.
Yeah, okay, but why don't we listen to both of their words? Belichick constantly says, coaches can lose games, players can win games. Brady has said, including this week, Belichick is a huge reason as to why he had the success he had. There is no way that Brady could have operated and run the Tampa Bay Buccaneers without 20 years of training under Bill Belichick. He could not have done it, and I love Brady.
He's trying to
Both
get him
of
out to
them
Vegas.
are
He's trying to get Belichick
both
out to
of them.
He's greasing him up to get him out to Vegas. That's what he's doing.
Go Aces. the point is, both of them are responsible for this. Who's more responsible for the greatest days in Badger history, Pat Richter or Barry Alvarez?
Donna Shalala.
Cop out.
It's an answer. I didn't say the point. I didn't make that point. You basically said this. Now you're copping out.
So you're picking Bob Kraft in the Brady versus Belichick debate.
No, it's Tom Brady.
Listen.
Everybody knows that Tom Brady. Normally, these arguments you can have like there's some gray area. There is no gray area. Tom Brady proved it, and Evan can't do it because he loves Bill Belichick and can't come to grips and say, "Yeah, Belichick is a great coach, no doubt." But it's Brady. It's always Brady.
Oh, I
always.
Know. Wait, but what do you mean I can't come to grips with it?
No, you
I'm
can't.
in agreement.
No,
Brady
you're not.
is more responsible.
Oh, I don't
Brady
know. They're
is more
both
responsible for their titles than
Here's-
Belichick is. But the point is, why don't we ever do?
Quote,
All right,
Monday
who's more
morning.
responsible for Wilde and Tausch? Who's more responsible for
quote,
Wilde and Tausch?
Monday
Wilde and
morning,
Tausch.
Evan Cohen. Why
Jesse
can't we
Nelson.
sit back and say both
Wrong.
Belichick and Brady are equally responsible for their championships? Oh, that's a cute little. What a cute little way to do it. Oh, Evan, it's Brady, and you know it.
You know,
That's
I'm
why.
going to say something I've never said in 20 years of knowing you guys. I miss Wilde.
Now, if that's thank you, Evan. Now, if that's not a knockout, I don't know what is. Evan will be better next week. I knew this was going to be a complete chaos.
We didn't even get time to get to how to lose a guy in 10 days. Evan, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, what's up with that? Did you hear that, by the way?
I also
Did
heard,
the
I can't
WNBA
believe how
player-
your co-host got after you about taking up a roster spot at the university because you don't drink and how great of a party school Wisconsin is. They were borderline like being mean to you. I'm assuming you.
This is why. Okay, wait. The competition is over. I know Josh DiMaggio of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy scores this every single week. So competition over. Now I just want to add one thing. What an interesting thing that was. I thought that. I'm glad you noticed that, Tausch, because I thought that was the best moment of the show today.
It was great.
They were destroying. They
Yes.
were destroying me as a UW grad. I don't drink. I've never been drunk in my life. And they were like, "You take up a roster spot. Like someone else should be there instead of you." And I thought I had a good Wisconsin experience. I mean, by that I mean I went to Tornado on Tuesday night.
Evan, thanks so much for joining
Jesse's
us
laughing. Jesse wouldn't know Tornado if it was in his backyard. He
It's
doesn't even know what
across
I'm
the
talking
square. I've been there many times. I think it's a little
No,
overrated.
you have not.
Manny's probably a lot.
Little
Sorry,
overrated.
what did you just say?
Little overrated.
That's
Tausch, we're going to let him do this?
That's incredible. Well, because he hasn't been there. He doesn't know any better.
He
That's
hasn't
why.
been there with us. That's what it is.
That's true.
That's true. I look forward to the next invite.
I mean, Tausch and I went there once with Tom Crabtree's friends, and that is a big night.
That was good. That was something. All right, thanks, Evan.
Bye.
Evan
Boy,
Cohen.
that was. I felt bad bodying him like that, but I needed one.
You
like
say
that.
this every week,
No, I
and then
didn't.
Jason and I have
No.
to say, I don't know if that's what happened.
No, it
old
is.
T. Unsportsmanlike, Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, Michelle Smallman, weekday morning starting at 5 a.m.
He
on
thought he was
ESPN
getting me with
Radio.
the fickle. I had that fickle answer right here, right in the old shirt pocket.
Donna Shalala.
Are either of those people here without Donna Shalala?
There is something that I want
There's
to.
not. They would be.
You're right. There's something that he said about the growth versus failure that you actually brought up and then Evan responded to. I want to talk about that next. We'll do that as we continue this morning on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. The nationally top-ranked Wisconsin volleyball team is rolling. The Badgers have won 21 straight sets and have yet to drop a set in Big Ten play. The team is 15-0 overall and 6-0 in conference play and prepares for a two-match homestand this weekend. Friday night, the Badgers will host Rutgers, and Sunday play host to Maryland. Recapping last week, middle blocker CeCe Crawford was named the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week thanks to 12 blocks and 2 3-set wins over Iowa and Illinois.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
Today on ESPN Radio. Down 2-1, the Braves face a must-win Game 4. Will they survive? Or are the Phillies moving on to the NLCS?
Tonight on 100.5 ESPN.
Hey, it's Hunter Vaughn. ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see teams making an impact in their community. Nominate your local team today at ESPNMadisonGameChangers.com.
Love is in the air and behind center for your favorite football team. SprayNet of Southern Wisconsin knows that the kitchen is the heart of your home. Let them help you fall in love with it again. In just a few days, SprayNet can have your kitchen cabinets looking like the day you first saw them. Their exclusive painting technology and technique will create a new look for your kitchen that is quick, affordable, and beautiful. Schedule an appointment today with Dale, the owner of SprayNet of Southern Wisconsin. Go to spraynet.com.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Forward Madison FC's professional soccer regular season is coming to a close at Breeze Stevens Field. The Flamingos' final home game is Saturday, October 14th at 6 p.m. versus Union Omaha. The playoffs are on the horizon, and this game has big effects on the Flamingos' postseason matchups. Don't miss your last chance to cheer on the Mingos at Breeze Stevens Field and enjoy Fan Appreciation Night. To purchase tickets, head to ForwardMadisonFC.com. Forward Madison, fun for all.
Madison Computer Works knows using computers is more dangerous than ever. Scammers try to scare you and steal your information or money. Emails try to phish your login and password. Online pop-ups and messages try to trick you, telling you there's something wrong with your computer, even when there's not. Madison Computer Works can protect you from these threats. Our computer care plans help stop the scammers and fix your computer problems. Call 608-231-8000 for the computer support you deserve. Madison Computer Works, computers that work for you.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Joe in Manitowoc text in 844-770-3776. Evan, unsportsmanlike and still undefeated.
No way, Joe. Come on.
Joe in Manitowoc has scored the match in favor of Evan Cohen.
Oh, Joe.
Thanks again to our pal Evan of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio for joining us last segment. The debate will continue probably every Thursday at 9:30 as long as Evan's continuing to join us, or until Old T calls off the match because the scorekeepers, there's some
Josh
malfeasance
DiMaggio's fired,
accused.
though. He's done with being the scorekeeper. He's not he's too biased. We need to get some people that aren't directly under Evan's stewardship.
Okay, well, we'll see what we can do on that front. Joe in Manitowoc seems pretty unbiased. Seems pretty unbiased, and he says
Joe
Evan's gotten you every
that,
time.
How he can come to that conclusion after I brought the Fickle thing out of my front pocket and after I nailed him with the Belichick Brady. But Joe, I'm not questioning Joe's bias at all.
I might a little bit, but he's still more unbiased than Josh. I would agree with that. One thing that came up in that conversation, you talked about the growth from week 1 to week 5 versus week 1 to week 17. The Fickle answer like you had in your back pocket was ready to go with the Washington State game and Rutgers last week. Here's what I would say to that front. You can measure the linear growth if there are controlled variables on the other end of it. But the Packers playing the Bears week 1 is not the same as them playing the Lions in week 4.
I agree with that. But
Washington State's a top 25 team. Rutgers stinks.
My point is, it's conference game. Purdue on the road. Winning on the road in the Big Ten, don't ever use that as something that you can't get a barometer.
No, but when you have
Purdue just beat the heck out of somebody last week too? They beat Illinois, I think.
Yeah, Illinois. Well, Illinois is trash too.
Well,
everybody's
now everybody's trash. Okay, great. Well, you know what? If that's who you play against, that's who you beat. But this idea that you can't compare things linearly, that's what they're doing over there. They're assessing where they're at. You can only go off of who you played. The Bears and the Raiders are a great comp. The Aaron Jones component to this is where I would say this is where if he brought up the Aaron Jones component and said this changes things, I agree. That does change things. I am not down on Jordan Love yet. All I'm asking, are we getting better? It's a simple question, and nobody over there is telling you 100% we're getting better. We see it. It's going to ready to pop. I'm not. That's what I'd like to hear. Yeah, we're off just a little bit here and there. There's too many errors. There's too many mistakes. Can that get corrected? Yes, but it has to get corrected. We can't sit here twiddling our thumbs and say, well, it's going to get better, because it doesn't always get better. In years in the NFL, you don't get to redo it. It's part of your story. It's part of your deal.
If that's the approach, though, then I think you're better off watching games the way Jim in Saukville watches games, where you save them and watch 4 at a time.
Why?
Because I think what you're saying is at the end of the season, you want to be able to look and say from week 1 to week 12, was there significant improvement? You can't necessarily measure that if you're playing Buffalo week 1 and a top 15 team in the country week 2. Like that, and then you play a bottom feeder Big Ten team week 5. Like, it's not the same.
You are measured by how you play against. If you play a lesser opponent, you need to suffocate them. You're still being judged. Yes, it's much more difficult to play well against Ohio State than it is against Rutgers. Rutgers isn't as good as Ohio State. That is baked into your evaluation. I'm evaluating an offensive tackle if he's blocking Lenny, but he's not blocking Max Crosby. I'm not saying, well, you stink. Max Crosby's a stud, one of the best in the league. There's a curve on that, but there's not. You still need to show, yeah, we're getting better. I haven't seen that. That has not been evident to me, and that's why I'm saying right now this isn't a very good football team on offense.
So you're saying eye test, Kansas City comes to Green Bay in a few weeks for Sunday Night Football.
It's like in December.
You're saying Mahomes and the Chiefs come to Lambeau for Sunday Night Football if it doesn't get flexed.
Hopefully Taylor comes.
And hopefully Taylor Swift is in attendance. And the Packers could lose that game by 21 points, but watching individual performances, you could say that there was more growth in that than there was in the Raiders' loss on Monday night.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I guess that shows where you're at. I don't know if I agree with that. But I think you can look at the end of the season and say, from where we started to where this team ended, is there improvement from Musgrave and Watson and Love?
If you're playing an FCS school or if you're playing Ohio State, you don't evaluate it differently?
No, of course you don't evaluate it.
That's what I just said.
Of course you evaluate it differently.
You don't agree with that. What don't you agree with about that?
You do evaluate it differently, but I wouldn't say that there's a regression because you're playing Ohio State in late October and they might come to Camp Randall and win, and they might blow the doors off of you because defense hasn't been so good. But if you win the Big Ten West at the end of the year, you might say, okay, that's a 9-win team. We thought they might win 9 or 10 games. That's where they seem to be. They won the West. They get a chance at a Big Ten championship. Ultimately, a lot of boxes were checked this year for the Badgers.
I'm not writing this season off. I'm evaluating after 5 weeks where they're at. That's what we do. This is our job. We can project and think, well, I hope in 6 weeks I'm saying, man, the low point of this season was that game in Las Vegas. That's what I hope I'm saying.
And it very well might be.
I would hope so, because I don't know how much lower you could get on offense than what we saw on Monday night. And the fact that everybody's just so easy just to say, no big deal. The fact that nobody over there up at Lombardi Avenue is saying that should tell you maybe we should be looking at it this way too.
Your Prize Picks did hit with a Jimmy G INT on.
I don't want to live in the past.
Monday night. That was an easy win.
But that was a good win for old T. Tay Wicks, yep. Tay Adams, yep. Everything went well for me. I'm going to look at tonight. You got Mahomes 269.5. I think I go less on that. And I think Russ Russ 219. I like Russ. Russ has been a lot better than what people are writing off. The Broncos defense stinks. Packers better be ready for vintage Russ next in, I guess, 2 weeks.
No.
I'm telling you, they better be. I'm going to look at probably going more with him tonight. You guys join in. It's fun. Prize Picks Daily Fantasy Sports made easy. I like going 3 players. I got to get my third one yet. But you can pick between 2 and 6. You can win up to 25x on your money. You're not competing against other people. Just you and Prize Picks' projections. Download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up today. First-time users, put in the promo code WI. You get a 100% deposit match up to $100. You put $100 in, Prize Picks gives you $100. Again, go to prizepicks.com to get started today.
You still got an NLDS game tonight. Braves-Phillies. You go first-inning runs tonight for Braves-Phillies.
That has been a fun series to watch. Just wish there were 7 games and not 5.
Since it's been a weird week with the Packers playing on Monday night, we have not yet done this week's ESPN NFL Power Rankings. So much like when I was in college and we would move Scary Movie Monday to Wednesday, we move Power Rankings Tuesday to Thursday. Where do the Packers land and how many of the top 10 can Tausch get right? We'll do that in 2 minutes to start the 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Grassland Dairy is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin and sustained by innovation. Since 1904, the Wheatrick family has worked with hundreds of dairy farmers to consistently produce the highest quality dairy products. Grassland's commitment to quality starts with the way their dairy farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of their innovative processing and delivery. They are proud to offer a wide range of reliable and nutritious dairy ingredients. Grassland Dairy is family owned in Wisconsin and has been crafting butter for 5 generations.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. It's a bye week for the Green Bay Packers after they lost back-to-back games. Up next is a 3:25 kickoff on October 22nd at the Denver Broncos. Green Bay's 1.5-point favorites in that one, and you can stay up to date on all of your Packers news over at ESPNWisconsin.com. In the NBA, Dame time in Milwaukee will begin on Sunday against the LA Lakers. New head coach Adrian Griffin announced the news yesterday while on NBA Today that both Giannis and Damian Lillard will play in their preseason game out in LA. That's a game you can hear right here on Madison's home for Milwaukee Bucks basketball at 6 o'clock, or you can watch it over on ESPN. In college football, the Wisconsin Badgers are at home this Saturday as they host the 5-1 Iowa Hawkeyes for a 3 o'clock kickoff. We've got hour 2 of Wilde and Tausch right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Just climbing this rope right here. And if there's a man upstairs, he kept bringing me rain. But I've been sending up prayers and something's changed. I think I finally found my hallelujah.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. How am I supposed to do this? With Mark Tauscher, I'm Jesse Nelson.
You think that remotely bothers me?
I did hear you on Rutledge and Hamilton yesterday call out Rutledge
really
for being
odd.
a full name guy.
It was like a weird deal because I'm driving Max over to hockey, and I probably heard Jim say Matt Hamilton like 15 times. And I was wondering, I wonder why he does that. Because he always calls me Tauscher, which I'm not a fan of. I like either being Tausch. I don't really like when people call me Mark either. It's weird, but I don't. It's whatever. Okay. But when it's Tauscher, it's always like it's kind of stern, which whatever. Jim could call me whatever he wants, but it was Matt Hamilton.
Well,
and I just thought it was odd.
And then after you called him out on it, I started thinking, I've heard him say, Ryan Wollersheim, Alex Strofe, Molly Brown, all the characters that have been part of their show over time.
So
and
maybe
like,
it's just
he's
that's
a full
what he
name guy.
does, which is fine.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to, I just was curious because nobody does that.
But also, when I refer to Jim Rutledge, he's a full name guy. You either have nickname guys like
the
you.
name of his show
first
is Rutledge
name guys,
and Hamilton.
Last
It's
name.
not Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton.
Correct.
So if you're going to do it that way, why don't you just? I think they should change the name of their show to Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton.
But Wilde's a last name guy, like Wilde. It's just okay. It's Jason Wilde, but it's Wilde.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, and I told those guys as I left. Monday, it's going to be Jason Wilde. I like it. It's professional. It's different.
You're going to call Jason Wilde
I'm
every time.
I'm going to say Jason Wilde every time until he gets annoyed by it.
That's going to be one time.
That's what I thought. But I think if I prize pick it, I think I'd set it at 2.5. And
think you're going to get to 2.5 times?
Because I'll sneak one in, and I think he'll be rambling about something and he won't even catch it. And then I'll catch, and then he'll eventually catch it. And I think that's when he'll say, "Why are you doing this?" And I won't. I don't know if I'll have a good answer.
Does Jason listen back to the shows he
No.
misses?
No, Jason does not.
Because then I was going to say you might even be able to push that up to 4. I think.
You think I get 4?
I think you're going to get 4 in before
He
he
is
catches
so
up.
anal about words, and you say one wrong word and he'll wear you out on it, and he tries to spin it off that I do that because he does that.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. You're going to do it once, and he's going to reply to you by calling you Mark Tauscher.
I don't think initially.
And then you're going to do it again, and then he's going to say, "Why are you doing that?" And we're going to get to 2, and that's going to be
2.5
that's
is a
gonna be
really
it.
good number.
It is
for
a good
that.
line. It is
Yes.
a good projection on Prize Pick. Let's fire up the Power Rankings. Power Rankings Tuesday on a Thursday. Obviously, we were reacting to the Packers game on Tuesday. Well, you were. I was golfing. Celebrating my mom's birthday. So we didn't get to the Power Rankings.
Yeah, I don't want to ever
Tuesday.
hear you say anything about me taking a day off ever again.
Oh, fair. Why were you gone last Friday again? Oh. Let's go and check the ESPN NFL Power Rankings for Week 6 of the NFL season. Tausch, we've done this the last several weeks with you trying to pick in a row where the ESPN NFL Nation, including Packers reporter Rob DeMowski,
I feel
joins
really
us
good
every
about
week.
the first 3.
Okay.
And then after that, it gets a little sketch.
So let's hear it. Who you got at number 1?
San Francisco right now has been by far the best.
They are absolutely number 1.
Philadelphia is definitely 2.
They
Both
are 2.
undefeated teams. I think they're the only undefeated teams in the NFL. The NFC, again, we talked about this all offseason. You knew it was going to be top-heavy. Very rarely do things play out to script. The NFC is kind of scripty this year.
Which means I think something big is going to happen in the playoffs.
What do you mean?
There's going to be a
sneak in?
6 or 7 seed. Like maybe it's the Packers, maybe
That'd
the
be awesome.
Saints. Like somebody's going to make a run in the playoffs.
Or maybe the Cowboys don't disappoint.
Yeah, Cowboys fan Hunter Vaughn producing today's show.
So 3's Kansas City. 4.
That is correct.
Boy, I just don't know. 4 is so tricky because I think you have to say the Dolphins bounce back. I'm going to go Dolphins at 4.
Nailed it.
Okay.
4 for 4. So top 4, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Kansas City, Miami. This is where you started to get dicey last week.
I mean, I think Detroit needs to be in the equation here. I think Detroit should be sitting there. Buffalo should drop. They had a tough loss. Baltimore's not in that mix anymore. I'm going to go with Detroit at 5.
Detroit 5? Are you crazy?
4-1.
You're right.
No.
You're right. Detroit
Okay,
is 5th in the power rate, which is nuts.
Yeah, that's great for them. So who else is there at that? Who would I put at the 6th spot? Is it somebody with 2 losses or with 1?
Do you want a hint? I do want a hint. Does that officially mean that you have an asterisk as you're identifying?
Is that?
It is a 2-loss team. There are very few teams with 1 loss that are ranked lower than this. There are 2 other teams with 1 loss. Many teams with 2 losses. A 2-loss team is number 6.
Tampa's only got 1 loss, but they had a bye, right?
That is true.
I think people just are in love with Buffalo. I think people are still in love with Buffalo, but Jacksonville beat them. I'm going to go Jacksonville.
Should have trusted your gut.
Buffalo?
It is Buffalo.
So how can we put Buffalo ahead of Jacksonville? They just lost to them, and Buffalo lost one of the best defensive players in the game. for the season, on top of losing their top corner, to an Achilles.
So
that's a bad poll.
Buffalo is 6. Dallas, after that Sunday night performance, is 7. Hunter, they should be lower than that, right? Unbiased.
Dallas is still, I think, the top of tier 2. Until Dallas and Detroit play, I still would trust Dallas.
They lost to Arizona.
I understand. Yeah,
I still think they're as good as Detroit, but it's a huge gap between Detroit and Dallas, and then Philly and San Francisco.
Yeah, I would agree with
chasm.
That's why I took my Final Four.
Do you want to guess 8, 9, and 10?
No,
or
just tell me who they are.
Seattle is in at 8. They had a bye also. They're 3-1.
Okay.
Tampa is 3-1 at number 9.
Tampa's fraudulent.
And Jacksonville's 10.
Jacksonville
below Tampa. That doesn't feel right.
I don't know how Jacksonville could be below Buffalo. They literally just played.
But they've had some bad losses, Jacksonville
So
has.
has Buffalo.
Jacksonville also has played 2 games in London at 8:30 in the morning, so maybe they've just been an afterthought the last couple of weeks in the grand scope of ranking the NFL teams. So now the question becomes, where are the Green Bay Packers, Tausch? They were 14 last week. They disappoint on ESPN's Monday Night Football against the Vegas Raiders. Where does Green Bay land in the rankings for Week 6?
19?
If they're 19, that would be their lowest ranking of the year after they lost to Atlanta.
And I hope that this is the lowest point of the season for the team.
You nailed it. How do you do it?
14. Well, they should have dropped 4 or 5 spots is how I kind of picked.
They dropped from 14 to 19 in this week's power rankings.
Yeah, that's listen, it's a long season. There's ebbs and flows. I just hope that this is the most ebby or the lowest flow that this team had. That's all I'm saying. If there is
most ebby.
Because you're not going to face a ton of teams. You're going to face the Vikings, who that would be brutal, especially with how they're positioning themselves. But this is the part that I have to come to grips with. I and a lot of us as Packer fans have had this premonition of every week, well, we have the best quarterback on the field, we're going to win. That's such a force multiplier of predicting if you're going to win games. And when you don't have that guy yet, you have to get in the mindset of, well, yeah, these teams stink, but maybe you're not very good. And maybe that's where I'm lacking. That's maybe where I have a blind spot, because I've been around long enough with great quarterback play, and I just baked that into the cake. And right now that cake ain't there. There ain't the yeast, or there's not the whatever.
We're
that's
doing the
popping
baking of the cake thing again. Okay.
Well, that's a good analogy.
It's great.
I that's where I think I have to start coming to grips and say, okay, they're not good. The Raiders stink. Maybe we just ain't very good.
Might be the case. Coming up next, I want to continue to review from the power rankings. So ESPN's NFL Nation always has their little ditty in addition to the rankings. This week, it was the biggest fantasy football surprise for each team this year. We'll see if you can guess who Rob Domofsky selected as the biggest fantasy surprise, and we'll also talk about positive and negative surprises after 5 weeks of this NFL season for the Green Bay Packers. We will do that next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Ruggability. We straight made that word up. How else to describe the otherwise indescribable rugged, capable, incredible versatility and affordability of a Honda SUV? Car and Driver calls Honda the winningest brand in 10 Best history. Your kids will call it totally lit. But we like ruggability, and you'll like the incredifantabulous deals, so see your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer today. Honda gets Wisconsin.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
Today on ESPN Radio. Down 2 games to 1, the Braves face a must-win Game 4. Will they survive? Or are the Phillies moving on to the NLCS?
Tonight on 100.5 ESPN.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Fish fry, walleye, and vegetarian options are available, and they have a menu that's sure to please everyone. Liberty Station smokes their meats daily with a 1,000-gallon custom smoker, giving you the freshest experience possible. Enjoy happy hour with daily discounts on both food and drinks at their large bar with 20 draft taps and multiple TVs to watch the big game. Be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area too. Liberty Station off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
Have you met your deductible? Are you stuck waiting in line to see an orthopedic physician? The team at Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin can see you tomorrow. Their board-certified and fellowship-trained orthopedic and spine physicians have been treating patients in the Madison area for over 3 decades. They specialize in a wide range of areas, including sports medicine, joint replacement, spine, hand surgery, and more. Convenient and accessible, their team is dedicated to getting you back to being active and doing what you love. Visit orthospinecenters.com. That's orthospinecenters.com.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
My name is Rob, and I was seriously injured. When I think of Gruber Law Offices, I think of an honest, hard-working team who will fight to represent you. Couldn't be happier with the call that I made that day.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
At TLC Laser Eye Centers, we know every one of our patients' journeys. Like a recent patient in Chicago. She's been wearing the same scratched frame since college. And another patient in New York City. The first time he tried putting in contacts, it took him 4 hours and lots of patience. So how do we know all this? Well, TLC isn't all about seeing. We're also about listening. We start by discussing your needs, answer any questions, or address any concerns you may have about LASIK. Then we customize your experience to you. You deserve the best LASIK doctors, the best LASIK staff, and the best LASIK experience. So book your free 20-minute virtual consultation at TLC Laser Eye Centers. And let's talk about your journey today.
Right now, TLC is offering $1,000 off their Wavelight laser when treated in October. That's $500 off per eye. So call 888-TLC-2020 or visit saveontlc.com. The doctor's choice for LASIK. Must mention this promotion and be treated in October of 2023 to qualify. $1,000 off for both eyes on standard Wavelight price. $500 off for one eye. Cannot be combined with any other offers. See details at saveontlc.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Power Rankings Tuesday on a Thursday on Wilde and Tausch. Jesse and Tausch today with Jason on assignment for the remainder of the week. He'll be back on Monday, enjoying the Packers bye week with a couple extra days. 844-770-3776, the number to get into the show. So with the ESPN NFL Power Rankings this week, the Packers checking in at number 19. ESPN's NFL Nation was also asked to identify the biggest fantasy football surprise for each team. Mark Tauscher, fantasy football guru from your league where you draft entire teams to choose from.
Off to a sluggish start.
Who are your teams again this year?
The Chargers. We had a bye, so we're 2-2.
Yeah.
We're hovering right in the middle of the meat of the pack.
Got to turn things around pretty quick.
We'll try.
How do you do trades in that league, or do you
don't.
not?
No
trades allowed.
Well, I actually traded. We had the 3 overall, and we traded down and got 8-9 on the snake.
So you can trade draft picks, but you can't trade players in the season. That's it.
Well, when players get traded,
then what happens? Like
so
Chase
last
Claypool,
year, I think we
what
had
do you do?
Fran and McCaffrey came over. We made a nice push. We ended up a little bit short, but JT, you draft the Colts. JT would have got traded. You're blank.
So you just have to give Jonathan Taylor to whoever has the
Taylor
Colts?
is on the Broncos.
Yeah.
The Broncos now become a much better team.
It's a weird thing, but I love it. Anyway, so you, with your fantasy football expertise and knowing Rob Demovsky, ESPN Packers reporter, as well as you do, who do you think Rob selected as the biggest fantasy surprise for the Packers this year?
Has there been anybody that's done anything?
Well, let me give you a hint.
Is it Anders Carlson?
It is not Anders Carlson. fantasy surprise does not have to be a positive thing.
Oh. I think you'd say A.J. Dillon's the most disappointing.
A.J. Dillon is who Rob Domofsky selects as the biggest fantasy surprise. In honor of Jason Wilde missing today's show, I now read on the radio Rob Domofsky's excerpt from the Power Rankings. This should have been Dillon's time to shine, with Aaron Jones dealing with a hamstring injury that has significantly limited his playing time. But through the first month of the season, Dillon hasn't delivered. He averaged just 2.8 yards per carry in the first 5 games of the season. On Monday night, Dillon showed improvement, registering his first touchdown of the season. 1 touchdown for A.J. Dillon and all the extra playing time that he's gotten, plus the goal line situations he's usually in for the Green Bay Packers. I agree he has been a major disappointment coming into this season.
I think from a fantasy standpoint, obviously, yes.
And not just a fantasy standpoint,
A.J.
like
Dillon
all
is
around.
who he is. Like I don't know what. I think he's a tough. He runs hard. Has he been as good as we all hoped? I would say he has not been. His rookie season probably was his best. I think he had that one big game against the Titans that we all got excited about. It was up at Lambeau. It was cold.
Sunday night game, yeah.
He will be, I think, better when the weather gets colder, but I think the idea of him being like your featured tailback, I don't think that's something that the Green Bay Packers really want. I think he has his role. I would say he has not been as good as people had hoped.
Yeah, that ship has sailed. I'm convinced of that.
He's still going to get opportunities.
Well, he's next in, it's got to be him if it's not Aaron Jones, because Emmanuel Wilson just isn't the guy.
Well, I think Patrick Taylor's days are numbered. I don't think they're bringing him back.
Yeah.
He's going to get more opportunities. I'm not sold that he is who he is. He's a nice, complimentary back, but he is not Aaron Jones. He's not a home run hitter. And when you're playing running back in the league today, you need to be a home run hitter. That's what the league is looking for. That's not A.J. Dillon's strength. And even his strengths, he has not been as good. 20 touches the other night, I would have hoped we'd have seen more of those 10, 11-yard chunks. He's getting you 3 or 4 yards on a good carry. And on a bad carry, he's tripping and he's getting you 1 or 2. So as much as I love giving Domofsky grief, I can't push back. Then it goes back to, and I put this question out on Twitter, what has been offensively, who's surprised you, or what have you been happy about? Who's progressed?
Yeah, I think that's a fascinating question. So on the flip side of a fantasy surprise being a negative, there haven't really been any pleasant surprises.
So how can we look at it and say that we're fine with where we're at?
Well, hang on. Now, Jaden Reed, I think, has been a pleasant surprise.
Okay. Yeah.
And that stems from the preseason. Like, a pleasant surprise doesn't have to be something that comes out of nowhere in week 3. It can be someone that has progressed well since the start of training camp, right? Because Jaden Reed, I think, would fit the bill of it's been a pleasant surprise that he's been as involved and as consistent in the offense as he's been called upon. Anders Carlson has been a pleasant surprise.
For sure. I think you nailed the two that you could say. Because Romeo Doubs, he had the one, I think, really good game. And you know what? He has had he had a hammy to start the season, missed the game, I believe. Didn't he miss the game down in Chicago? He played, but it was limited. I was expecting more from both him and Christian Watson. Not to say that they can't get there, but as we sit here right now, again, you can only go off of what I've seen. Jaden Reed has been a pleasant surprise. That's a very solid answer. He's been, I think, as good or if not better than what we anticipated. But Musgrave, Kraft.
Well, Musgrave had the game in Atlanta was a pleasant surprise. So if we're looking at, if you're saying overall through 5 games, I wouldn't say Musgrave, but individual performance, the Atlanta game, he was very good. The comeback against the Saints as a team in the fourth quarter,
so is Jordan
which I'd put for Jordan Love as a pleasant
Love
surprise.
been what you expected through 5 weeks? Better or worse?
That's an interesting question.
Poll it.
Has Jordan Love been what you've expected through the first 5 weeks? I would say my gut instinct is to say no. He's not.
So what?
He's not what I expected him to be.
He's better than you thought, or worse than you
thought? I expected more in the middle, and I think what we've seen is really good or really yuck, and there hasn't been much. Just he's new at this, learning, growing. Offense isn't necessarily working.
If
on
I
all
don't allow
cylinders.
you to say poison leadership, What are you saying his strengths are?
Leading the comeback against the Saints.
Lead is close to leadership.
But he made some. You know that he made some
No,
big plays in that
overall.
game.
No,
he's extended plays very well.
Okay.
We saw it against the Raiders. He had a nice scramble against the Raiders in the second half where he turned what looked like nothing into a big game.
As a quarterback, take leadership and poise, which are big components to being a good quarterback. What would be the words you describe with Jordan Love?
I've really liked him rolling out of the pocket and his play action. I think that's been a lot better than I expected it to be. So there's that.
Yeah, extending plays.
Okay.
I think what's hard about this request of yours is that
through 5 weeks, here's the poll I want Hunter or you to put up.
Yeah.
Through 5 weeks, has Jordan Love been better than you expected, worse than you expected, or exactly what you expected?
We will put that poll in the field during our commercial break here in just a moment. I love the question. I'm fascinated to see what the returns are on the Wilde and Tausch Twitter feed at Wilde and Tausch. I might post this on Facebook too. I feel like we get some good responses over there.
YouTube.
We'll if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to chime in on the comments. We'll review some of those as we continue throughout as well. 844-770-3776. You can text in your response as well. Jordan Love through 5 weeks at the bye. Better than you expected, worse than you expected, exactly what you expected.
I think exactly what you expected is going to win this because nobody really wants to. I don't think a lot of people are going to say better than expected.
But ironically, the moments he's been good, I would say better than expected. But the moments he's been bad, I'd say worse than expected. And the ultimate result is what I expected, which is inconsistent.
Talk about a word salad.
It's
you
hard.
Just word saladed it.
It's hard to pick this. I would say, if I'm following the Homer philosophy of judging young, inexperienced players by what they do best, his good moments have been better than I expected. I didn't think he was going to amount to anything as a starting quarterback in the NFL. I am pleasantly surprised that he has been really good in certain moments.
Yeah, that's where we disagree, and that's fine. I think if you came in with the notion that he was going to stink, I think you're going to say better than expected. If you thought he was going to be a good, average quarterback, has he been so far?
I don't think average is how I would describe Jordan Love. No. I would say he's had moments where he has been above average for what I expected coming into the season, and then there were games like the Raiders game and the Lions, certain moments in the Lions game where he wasn't good.
If the Packers had to give him a Daniel Jones contract extension today, the deadline is next Wednesday, are they doing it?
Yes, because they don't have another plan in place.
Maybe that's a better
Well, maybe we could put both of these in the field. I want to ask it both ways. We'll get to that coming up. 844-770-3776. We'll get the poll in the field, start to check in on some of your responses to this question. We'll do that next as we continue on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
All right, Team Pella, listen up.
Thanks, John Kuhn. Customers love our products with limited lifetime warranties. Check out these big plays. Incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass.
No interference on that play, Coach.
And stylish windows with hidden screens that make game days a breeze.
Can it get any better?
It can. With monthly payments as low as $19 per window, $75 per patio door, and a free quote at PellaWI.com.
Let's go.
6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers on 10/31/2023.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate back tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 years old to enter. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Tired of power outages disrupting your life? Make them a thing of the past by getting a Generac home standby generator from Adams Generators. Adams Generators is the largest and #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. With 24/7 emergency support, our factory-trained technicians are standing by to assist you. Visit adamspower.com/generators to make sure your power always stays on. That's adamspower.com/generators.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Eat Doritos, just don't eat it in bed.
Why?
Are you snacking in bed,
You're
CC?
snacking in bed?
No, I'm not a snack in bed guy, but I'm not above it. I'm not above it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Kind of above it.
Sometimes it's a comfort food.
You're only snacking in a bed in my world if you're in a hotel.
Yeah, because it's not yours.
Because then someone's
So
cleaning
you're-
it up the next day.
Oh, so you just don't care about others. Got it, Smalls. Okay.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekdays from 5 to 9 on 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
We tend not to think about right now, but right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. When you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research. Victory over cancer is there for the taking by you. Donate at V.org, because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
The poll is in the field. And Tausch is already second-guessing it, it sounds like, saying,
Well,
I don't know if we should have done it that
Listen,
way.
I know Wilde loves the nuance. I like getting psychologically inside fans' heads. I don't want a cop-out. I want you to say, this is how I feel right now. I mean, this isn't for the rest of the season. This is through 5 weeks. Better or worse? Now, we gave a cop-out, and that's going to end up being, I bet, 85, 90% of the answer.
Well, we'll find out. It's early in the poll. At Wilde and Tausch, so far this season, has Packers quarterback Jordan Love been better than you expected, worse than you expected, or exactly what you expected? So you think people are going to vote exactly?
I do.
I don't think people would be being honest if they vote exactly what you expected. Is he exactly what you expected? I know we expected ups and downs. We expected great moments and bad moments. I didn't expect the great to be as great and the bad to be as bad as what we've seen.
I've actually voted better than.
I did too.
I came in with the expectation that I wasn't sure. I had no clue. And by the way, nobody over there did either. What he was going to be able to do completion-wise and big plays and leadership and poise and all the things I said you can't use, those have been his strengths. His command of what he's doing, all of those things have been really good. And even though he threw up a complete clunker last week, turning the ball over, I think he's been better than I expected through 5 weeks. This team could easily be 3-2, could easily be 1-4. I get all that, but through 5 weeks, I love his approach. I think he's been more mobile, getting out of the pocket and picking up his rush yards. he's done a really good job of extending plays. There's been a lot of things to be very happy with when you're looking at Jordan Love.
So let me ask you this, because Gunner points this out at one of our first responses on the Twitter poll at Wilde and Tausch. There's been really good things, but also some really bad things. Not just his fault, but this is exactly what I thought would happen. A lot of ball game left. How do you factor in injuries on the offensive line that were unexpected coming in, or maybe expected in the case of Bakhtiari coming into the year? Aaron Jones not being a significant part of the offense. A.J. Dillon being a bit disappointing, like we just talked about in his role. The young receivers with Watson and Dobbs not at 100% through the first 5 games here. How do you factor all that in when assessing Jordan Love?
Yeah, that is what kind of helps me make the decision that to be happier, or he's been better than I expected, because I think we all thought really good O-line, really good running game, and that's going to make Jordan Love's job a lot easier. Well, the O-line hasn't been very good. The running game is one of the worst in the league, and that's Aaron Jones' unavailability has been a big part of that. So you're asking more of him. That makes me say, all right, how has he handled it? He's done okay. Could be better. So that definitely helps if you're doing a curve grading. It definitely gives you more leeway to say, okay, I understand why he's struggling a little bit. I understand a couple of the interceptions that he's thrown and under pressure. I mean, Detroit, he didn't have a chance. Last week, I think he had a better opportunity to do it. So you do factor all of those things in. And I think if you want to look at this season and why there's some discouragement, it is. We all thought that this O-line was going to be top-notch, and it has not been. And there's been injuries, obviously not having Elton for a vast majority of the season. There's a lot of factors to why this run game has been as bad as it's been. Aaron Jones's and Elton Jenkins not being available is a big part of that. But that is, I think, part of the grading curve of Jordan Love.
So a couple of responses coming in. Hunter, put this one from Nick in Port Washington back up on the video stream here. I want to be able to have everybody see this as we address it. 844-770-3776. Nick, I have periods where I learn something new where I'm good at first and then actually have a bit of regression because I have more information and a better idea of what I want to do, but isn't quite a routine yet, so I end up overthinking with all the new information I'm trying to use. Do you think...
Don't overthink it, Nick.
Well, and is Jordan Love potentially going through that right now as a starting quarterback? Where
for sure.
The first couple of weeks, it's let's just go out here and sling it, have some fun. That might have been what LaFleur even told him. Just go out there, have some fun. Let's throw it around, do your thing. Like, we're ready for it. Now, a couple of the games in, he's watching film in that quarterback room and trying to overcome some of the obstacles with the injuries on offense and you get that hope just like we did as fans where, 2-1, comeback win they weren't supposed to have here. Maybe there's something to this season. And he starts overthinking it a little bit. Could that be what's going on with Jordan Love?
Well, that's all part of the deal. And, yeah, it's just like when young players don't have the scars that, when Joe Thomas joined us, the naivete is refreshing from young players. They don't know any better. Once you start doing it, again, this isn't Jordan's rookie year. He's been around. He's seen some of the pain, losing some games that you'd think you shouldn't. So, yeah, I think that's all part of the process of evolving as a quarterback is understanding it. There's going to be more pressure as you continue. The mistakes that he's getting the aw shucks from certain people, those go away. Now you don't have any excuses. You have Aaron Jones. You have your line. You're now in start 10, 11, 12. It's time for you to show us where you're at. And right now, he's still getting a lot of runway, from myself included, because if you look at this and say, this is a fourth-year quarterback, and this is what he's put up, I wouldn't be overly impressed. But when you factor all of that in, that's why I'm still saying I've been pleasantly surprised.
So I wanted to read this response next for you. It addresses exactly that. Brandon on Twitter, definitely worse than I thought, and he's getting worse. Dude looks like a rookie who was drafted 7 months ago.
Dude looks like a rookie.
Dude looks like a rookie.
I wanted to sing. Yeah, it's getting to be that time of the week that I sing.
Yeah, you got a bye week this week for the Academy. Been practicing, learning, and studying with a Hall of Fame quarterback, throwing to NFL players, learning from NFL coaches for 4 years, and he stinks overall.
Brandon, here's what I would say back to you. I understand your point of view, but it's one thing watching somebody else do it, It's another thing when Max Crosby's breathing down your neck and you have to make a play. And you have to understand when the ball needs to come out, how the protection's breaking down, what you need to do. And I think Jordan has actually handled that piece of it well. As far as the interceptions, the one was you can't have it. The other one, he tried to fit a ball into a tight window. He needs to clean that up. But young players, I just keep coming back to Peyton Manning threw 28 picks his rookie season. 28 picks, and he's one of the greatest to ever do it.
Brandon in Tulsa on the text line, as you're seeing on the video stream right now on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you put high expectations on the youngest team in the league, that's on you. Saying you're not interested in how young they are, they should win anyway, is just an entitled mentality. Entitled town. Brandon in Tulsa.
So here's what I would say to Brandon in Tulsa, and I appreciate Brandon. Love the fact he's from Oklahoma. Want to get there. It's a state I have not been.
He's sick of mowing his lawn this time of year.
Yeah, it's tough. Tough deal, Brandon. We're going to be getting a ton of rain here. I agree that you should have different expectations, but you should also not sit here and have no expectations. Like, then what are we doing? If you can't beat bad teams, that means you're a bad team. Then you have to start wondering, well, do we have the right guys? That's part of the process. It's not just, oh, shucks, they're young, they're going to make mistakes. Yeah, they do all that. But then you still have to see, okay, well, they're making mistakes, but they're bouncing back from them. They're getting better. They're not making the same mistake in week 2 that they make in week 5. That's what you got to look for. It can't just be, well, if you have high expectations, shame on you. I don't have expectations of this team winning a Super Bowl. I think that they're a borderline playoff team. And if that's where they end up, so be it. But if it's just this and we see more of what we saw on Monday, you're going to be okay with that, Brandon? I don't think you are.
844-770-3776. Keep the responses coming on the Wilde and Tausch Talk and text line, 844-770-3776. We have the poll posted on Twitter at Wilde and Tausch. Also, I got it on the Facebook page,
I think
too.
I want you to preemptively poll. I don't want to do it today. I want to be able to have those results for tomorrow about the conch, because that's more – I'm looking for something more concrete.
Sure. We can
something more concrete.
We haven't done a good PP in a while, a preemptive
yeah, a little
poll.
Preemptive poll. And if you preemptively need and say, man, my shower – not great. My bath, not great. You need to think about updating your bath or shower. My friends at Kohler Services will get it done. Kohler Services, local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service, brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned business in Wisconsin. For 150 years, Kohler is the only manufacturer offering fast professional installation and care for life. You can start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com. Request a free quote. Tell them Old T sent you in. Again, go to KohlerServicesWI.com.
We'll continue to check your responses to this question on Twitter. Jordan Love, better, worse, or exactly as expected 5 games into this Packers season. At some point, we also have to get to the world's worst survivor pool. Gosh, that thing, Jason's not here today.
Just wait, I won. What are you talking about? I won the pool.
Well, do you want to keep going, or do we reset it? Like, this is why it's the world's worst survivor pool.
You don't get to, like, re-engage. Like, survivor pool is survivor. I'm surviving. Y'all are dead.
It wasn't supposed to be over by October 12th.
Well, tell you guys that. You picked San Francisco or Philly, and you'd still be in it. I haven't even picked either of those teams yet.
Then I guess we're not doing the survivor pool. The tribe has spoken. We'll review your responses next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Grassland Dairy. With a Thursday night game, Monday night game, and the bye week all happening back to back to back, our Sundays are a little less full of football here for a few straight weeks. Well, maybe that means you get to spend a little extra time preparing a fantastic breakfast. And you know no breakfast is complete without the pure and delicious taste of Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy has been serving up delicious taste and high-quality butter from farm to table since 1904. That's over 5 generations. And the key to that success has been the high-quality ingredients Wisconsin's dairy farmers help produce to give Grassland its pure and delicious flavor. Thank you, farmers, and thank you, Wisconsin, from Grassland Dairy. Butter better with better butter. There is truly no better product and no better taste than the pure and delicious taste of Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy, crafting butter for 5 generations.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Stoughton Trailers. Big trailers and big opportunity at Stoughton Trailers. Positions now open in production, operations, finance, sales, engineering, supply chain, and more. To apply today, go to stojobs.com. The nationally top-ranked Wisconsin volleyball team is rolling. The Badgers have won 21 straight sets and have yet to drop a set in Big Ten play. The team is 15-0 overall and 6-0 in conference play and prepares for a two-match homestand this weekend. Friday night, the Badgers will host Rutgers, and Sunday play host to Maryland. Recapping last week, middle blocker C.C. Crawford was named the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week thanks to 12 blocks and 2 3-set wins over Iowa and Illinois.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it yourself at 2 convenient Madison locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Honda certified technicians handle it all. You can even get flexible payment options. Fix your car now and pay later. Apply online to see your options in seconds with no hard credit check. Make your service appointment online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Zimbrick Honda Service Center on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Hey, it's Stacy Bruner from Bruner Realty. People have been telling me that buying a home is nothing to joke about, so instead of telling you another real estate joke, I'm going to have somebody else do it.
Jesse Nelson here. Why did the real estate agent buy a skateboard? So he could flip it.
Come on, Jesse, this is no laughing matter.
Well, when it's time to get serious about buying or selling, that's when people should do what we did and work with you.
Contact us at BrunerRealtyInc.com. Bruner Realty, homes to appreciate.
Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit MetroKiaofMadison.com.
John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. As we celebrate 90 years of serving the Madison area, to commemorate this occasion, we'll be giving away a .90 carat lab-grown diamond to one lucky customer. You can register to win at our store at 220 State Street or find us on Facebook or Instagram for your chance to enter the contest. Throughout October, we'll have a flash sale and other days when you can save up to 30% on some of our most coveted jewelry styles. 90 years in business is a long time. Help us make more timeless moments for you, our loyal customers. John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. Help us celebrate 90 years in business. In October, we'll have a flash sale and you can save up to 30% on selected jewelry styles. Visit us at 220 State Street or find us on Facebook or Instagram for your chance to win a .90 carat lab-grown diamond. John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933. Yes, 1933. That's 90 years. Help us celebrate and make more timeless moments.
The best is at Goodman's.
Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. Win game day gear by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill or a Brewmate. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 plus to enter.
Should've known by the way you passed me by, there was something in your eyes and it wasn't right.
844-770-3776 is the ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Has Jordan Love been better, worse, or exactly what you expected through 5 games of the NFL season? Want your responses to that question as we continue on here on Wilde and Tausch. Jesse and Tausch today. By the way, I'm going to lock in my survivor pick, Tausch.
You were eliminated week 1.
I am going to take the...
Well, no, first off, if we're going to do this, you write it down, you put it up to the camera.
Well,
That's
I
what
didn't.
survivor
Yeah,
is.
okay. I'm not going to do it then. I'll do it later.
Okay.
Because I don't have a pen to write.
You know you got eliminated week 1.
Week 1, yeah. Which is just the worst. Like, I really wanted to have fun with that this year.
It's a fun little game.
The question in poll form on Twitter so far this season is Packers quarterback Jordan Love been better than you expected, worse than you expected, or exactly what you expected? We are closing it on 200 votes, and this has only been in the field for a few minutes, so that's pretty good. Tausch, you said 80% exactly what you expected?
I think there's going to be a little bit of a cop-out.
How about 70% exactly what you expected?
I would like it to be about 50, but then it'd be 25-25, so I just really want to get a gauge as far as where people's expectations were and how Jordan has either lived up to them or not. The fact that you and I both are, he's been better than I thought, maybe that says we had really low expectations coming in, which I did. Because we didn't know. And Jordan Love had sat for a long time. I have been really impressed with a lot of things that he does. There's still a lot of things that are big-time questions, but I think all in all, I've been pleasantly surprised.
Well, here's a surprise in the polling. Now, 70% saying exactly what I expected. Maybe that, is what you expected. 21% worse than I expected, which means only 9% of fans so far in our poll on Twitter at Wilde and Tausch, or X, whatever. Better than I expected. Less than 10% of fans so far saying Jordan Love has been better than they expected, which we both say. Where's the disconnect there?
Yeah, I think it's the prisoner of the moment, and he hasn't been very good the last 3 weeks. He has not been better than what he was those first 2 weeks. Those have been his best games. Obviously, that fourth quarter against the New Orleans Saints, he played at a high level. But 3 quarters before that, it was bad. Last game, bad. Detroit, till you fell way behind, bad. That's where it's at.
Jane in Wanakee, as you see on our video stream right now, text in at 844-770-3776. We got excited and hopeful when he played well in 2 games, so the expectations got a little high.
I agree with Jane.
For a first-year starter.
Yeah.
He needs time. They all need time. But no, Tausch, I am not okay with the quality of play. It's exactly what I expected.
Okay.
That summarizes it pretty well.
I don't think any fan should be sitting here, and that's why I was as strong as I was on Tuesday and throughout the rest of this week. I don't think any of us should just sit here and say, growing pains, youth, all this. That wasn't the case. That just was bad football. That wasn't and mistakes and youthfulness and all that happens. But that was just bad ball by this offensive team. And I understand looking back at the first 2 games, did that raise my expectations? Yeah, it did, for sure. Is that on me? No. We should want our athletes to have higher expectations, and we shouldn't say it's okay to throw 3 picks and to kind of stink up the joint in Las Vegas. I don't know why as a fan base are we just like, yep, that's cool. I'm good with that.
And I think that's the difference in the mentality of Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers right now, or Anthony Richardson when healthy and the Colts, versus Jordan Love. If you're a rookie quarterback and you're just thrown to the wolves, the mistakes will happen. Jordan Love's been in the league for 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Like he shouldn't be compared to those guys.
Same plays, same verbiage.
We heard Evan Cohen say that earlier when he joined us. Like one thing he has in common with, and not to say he has the same skill set, but Brady, Mahomes, Rodgers, they all waited and they had time to be groomed behind other starters.
In position to succeed?
Yes. Outside of the injuries this year, yes.
So Jason and I, that's where we fundamentally disagree, is he thinks because of the lack of veterans, he's been put in a position to fail. I totally disagree with him on that.
844-770-3776. Do you want to talk to Ron in the key, Tausch? It's up to you.
Sure, put Ron on.
Usually when I'm producing, I eliminate Ron before he's able to get this far. But
I'm sure Ron's got a great point. Let's hear what he's got.
Good morning.
Be ready to click him off.
Ron in the key. You're on Wilde and Tausch with Jesse and Tausch. How you doing, Ron?
Hello, gentlemen. I'm sure Ron has a good point. Get ready to click him off. Respect, Tausch.
It's pretty good.
So a couple things. First of all, as someone who works in survey industry, that's a flawed question because you don't know whether their expectations were good or bad to begin with. But so them being better or worse than their expectations doesn't really give you data. That said, the data we
middle
have
finger, Ron,
is that
blank off, Ron.
Bad. He's bad. He's one drive where bad throws generated pass interferences from them being 1 and 4. Those weren't back shoulder throws that caused PIs. They were underthrown balls that got lucky to get 80 yards of pass interference. Like, he is bad. He's shown us it. Believe what your eyes are showing. Okay, so then before I leave you to your amazing show, I want to ask Tausch 2 questions that he has insight that the rest of us wouldn't do.
Okay.
Or wouldn't have, sorry.
Is it about parallel parking?
Oh.
No. Is, as a pro at the level that you were, after a game where you lost, is it more a sleepless night for you in a game where you're like, darn it, I didn't do something that if I would have done, we would have won, or where you didn't get to do it? So, like, did 4th and 26, which I refer to as 4th and 1, where you guys absolutely should have got to run that ball, that was the biggest thing. Was that more of a sleepless night for you, or was there a night where you're like, darn it, I didn't block that guy? Which one hurts you more?
No.
And then the second question is,
continue.
Do teams get false reads because of who they practice against? Like, do you think do we get a false read in our practice that our run defense is good because it has defended A.J. Dillon, or vice versa? Like, I know obviously you get game, but the people you're going against most are the 11 wearing the same jerseys that you do. And I'm just curious if that can give you, like, false reads.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Jordan can complete all these passes because he's playing against Joe Barry's dumb back off 12 yards off the line of scrimmage defense in practice.
Well, if you remember, they didn't complete a ton of passes in training camp. Defense, it seemed like one every day up there. So that great call, Ron. I think we could say that was a great call by Ron.
Yeah, outside of criticizing our bowl question.
That's fair. I'm totally open to good, fair criticism. 2 things. Do you get evaluated in practice? Yes. Do you maybe overvalue your guys? Sure. But preseason football, and obviously you see it, you don't see the same amount of judgment in preseason football as you used to because you're judging it off of going against 3s and 4s because a lot of first and even second string guys now aren't playing a ton. So I think you try to get the best off of going good on good, 1-on-1, 1 versus 1. That's how they try and get it. So offensive tackles, let's see how you block Rashawn Gary and Kingsley Enagbare in comparison to somebody that got cut. That's how they evaluate that. And as far as losses, the biggest thing for me was always games that we should have won, that we played better in, and we didn't win. 4th and 26 at the top of that list. The 2008 NFC Championship game, I always say it's not even in the same book because that game, the Giants played better than we did. So it always comes back to, did I feel like we put our best out there and did we find a way to not win it? Just like I'm sure the guys that played in that 014 championship game feel the same way. You're going to have those because you feel like you deserved it and you earned it. The other ones, you have to be willing to accept, hey, man, we're going to get beat. Sometimes I always forget this saying. Sometimes the dog's got the gun. Sometimes the gun's got the dog. How does that go?
I've never heard it, but that's not it.
No, sometimes you got the gun, sometimes the dogs. There's an old saying. Hunter will look it up and phrase it for me.
Sometimes you bite the...
No, there's something about a gun and a dog. We'll have to figure that out. I don't know it for sure. But, yes.
I don't like that at all.
When you have a loss like they had on Monday, you feel disgusted with yourself. And that's why you have extra team meetings, because you know that you should have won that game. You got it?
Well, I found one that says, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
That's it. Yeah.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
Flips.
It's not even close.
No,
that's
it's
a
very
rabbit, not a dog.
No,
and
it's
not
a dog.
That
but
was
it's
not
flipped.
it at all.
But it's flipped. It's flipped. You know what?
Sometimes Fortria's got
there you go. I was wondering how you were
going to
get
got Fortria.
I was wondering how you were going to get me there. There you go. If you're looking for a little extra spending cash, Fortria has you covered. Right now, I have a couple of different studies for you to pick up some extra spending cash. Healthy adults ages 18 to 60 with a BMI of 18 to 32. Study involves 2 stays with 15 nights total. You can make yourself $13,820 for your time. You can receive another $300 per qualified participant. They also have a trial. Healthy males and females ages 18 to 55, with females being of non-childbearing potential. That body mass index needs to be between 18.5 and 32. That study, one stay of 9 nights, you make yourself a quick $4,055. Go to fortreaclinicaltrials.com. That's Fortrea, Fortrea, clinicaltrials.com.
More of your responses to this question about expectations for Jordan Love. Has he met them? Is he better, worse, or exactly what you expected after 5 weeks of the Packers season? That's to come in the 11 o'clock hour, plus Hunter Vaughn, his specialty, Tausch. I know you love it. Blind resumes. Hunter's prepared another exercise for us. So we'll play that still to come. And, oh, no, we haven't played trivia yet. Could it be after 1 week of a disastrous finish last week?
It was a disaster for sure.
Sometimes you got to get back on the horse.
Sometimes the rabbits got the ain't no fun when the rabbits got the gun.
We're back in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
You can drive cutting-edge design. 2023 Audis are on the lot and ready for delivery. You can save $7,500 on select Audi EVs with the AFS EV lease bonus. See dealer for details and exclusions. Eligibility is subject to credit approval through Audi Financial Services. Cannot be combined with national customer credit. Offer expires October 31st. Stop in and test drive today. Check out our website to see our current electric vehicle inventory and our monthly specials. The search for your Audi begins and ends at Audi Madison off the Beltline and Rimrock Road. Drive yours today.
Hey, this is Eric Name of The Athletic. You're listening to Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. Join hosts Colin Russo, Brad Nortman, Chris Orr, and Adam Mertz 2 hours before and immediately after every Wisconsin football game this season on ESPN Wisconsin and Wisconsin On Demand. And speaking of those Wisconsin Badgers, they're at home this Saturday. They've got a 3 o'clock kickoff hosting the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Badgers are 4-1 on the year. Iowa sitting at 5-1. In Wisconsin, they're now 9.5-point favorites in that one. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day will kick off at 1 o'clock. And like I just said, immediately following the game for the next 2 hours, we'll have reaction right here on ESPN Madison. In the NBA, Dame time in Milwaukee will begin on Sunday against the LA Lakers as new head coach Adrian Griffin announced the news yesterday, while on NBA Today that both Giannis and Damian Lillard will play in their preseason game in LA, a game you can hear right here on Madison's home for Milwaukee Bucks basketball. Tip-off for that one is at 6 o'clock. Hour 3 of Wilde and Tausch starts right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Hour of Wilde and Tausch. Jesse and Tausch today with Jason Wilde on a bye for the next 2 days.
Sure.
Just like the Packers are. He's on a bye. Be back on Monday. Some fun guests scheduled to appear tomorrow and on Monday. Can't wait to tell you all about that coming up in a little bit. But first, we are reviewing our poll question on Twitter at Wilde and Tausch. For those of you just joining us, we stumbled our way into this one after we were reviewing the power rankings a little bit earlier in the show. And it is a fascinating question, which is garnering some fascinating results thus far on the Twitter poll at Wilde and Tausch. So far this season, has Packers quarterback Jordan Love been better than you expected, worse than you expected, or exactly what you expected? Closing in on 300 votes now, Old T. It's dwindled a little bit in favor of exactly. It's down to 66%.
Okay.
So 2/3 of Packers fans voting in this poll, exactly what I expected. Worse is up to 23%. So the voting has shifted. More people are saying worse than I expected. Almost a quarter of Packers fans are voting that way.
the key effect must be.
Better than I expected, only 11%.
So would you, if you could, I know that these are rookie quarterbacks. If you're Brian Gutekunst or you're Jesse Nelson or you're Johnny Q Packer fan, would you rather have Stroud, Bryce Young, Jordan Love? Who are you picking?
Bryce Young is undersized. That was the knock on him coming out, and I don't like that, and he's already been banged up, I think, to show it a little bit.
Or Richardson. So if we pulled this, and we're not going to pull this one, but if we did those four, I think I would take Stroud 1, probably Richardson 2, Jordan Love 3.
Wow.
Bryce Young 4.
I'm actually going to say Jordan Love 1.
Okay.
Because...
Have you watched the Houston Texans?
I have.
Okay.
And maybe the Texans have set up C.J. Stroud for success. Ohio State quarterbacks have traditionally not fared well in the National Football League, unless you include Joe Burrow, who never actually played for Ohio State, but was there, recruited, and then transferred to LSU. But looking back on the history of Ohio State quarterbacks, I don't think that they've fared well, and I think we're seeing that play out with Justin Fields in Chicago.
The reason I would go with 2 of those 3 is strictly financial. Stroud, I think, again, small sample size. Packer fans can't possibly tell me that that Jordan Love has looked better than Stroud. He hasn't. Now, I know, who's watched the Texans game? You see stats. You can see what he's done with that football team, and that team. Well, and this is the part again. Correct me and help me. Maybe there's more talent in Houston than there is in Green Bay on offense. Maybe the big thing that all of us that are responding in this poll and evaluating Jordan Love are looking at this and saying, you guys are all overinflating how good the rest of this offense is. Are we asking Jordan Love to make chicken blank out of chicken blank? That's really the question you have to ask yourself.
You mean both blanks there?
I don't think he is, but I might be in the minority on that. Maybe I am overvaluing what this Packers offense has, because when you take D-Bach out of the equation, your left tackle spot's not nearly as secure. You take Aaron Jones out of the equation, which you have for the vast majority, the running game is bunk. So when you start and then you have all these young wideouts, maybe I have overinflated that, and maybe that's why Stroud down in Houston, Richardson's been getting hurt a lot. So I'm going to change mine. I'm going Jordan Love 2, and then I'm going to go 3 and 4 with the others. But I would have to, after 5 weeks, look at this and say Stroud would be in a better spot.
So some of the responses coming in, I want to go to Facebook because we got a lot of Facebook responses that always roll in, and I feel like we neglect that audience sometimes. So I want to get to some of those responses. We asked the exact same poll question as we did on the Twitter feed over here on the Facebook page. So Pete, can Jordan Love just go out on the practice field with 2 receivers for about 2 hours and just ad-lib and fire passes on a rope? Do they practice? I find it hard to believe that an NFL quarterback and receiver can't get on the same page after all this practice.
Can they? Yeah, why can't they? Do it.
I think Pete's embellishing a point that for all the practice that Jordan Love has had in training camp reps, in preseason reps, for all this time, going back to last year with Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, how highly they've talked about him, you get to a game situation and nobody's on the same page.
Yeah,
what's happening?
I think the Romeo Doubs question, do you feel great about Romeo Doubs as a wideout right now?
I think he's a solid 2, yeah.
Okay.
I think he's dependable, I think.
I like Romeo. He had, obviously, the bad drop. I still think he's going to get better and better.
He's a different skill set, but just depth chart player-wise, he reminds me of Lazard. Like, he shouldn't be a 1, but I think he can be a dependable 2.
Okay.
That's what I think of Romeo Doubs. Don't ask more of that than him. Otherwise, you're going to be in a poor situation.
All right.
Some of the other responses here. Mike on Facebook has one of those little diamonds that says he's a top fan. There you go, Mike. Anyone that watched training camp is getting exactly what they expected. What we're seeing is what he is, in reference to Jordan Love.
Is that good enough?
based on how Jason talked about what he saw on the training camp sidelines in July and August, I would say no, it is not good enough.
Gosh, and this is why I really was hoping that this team and Jordan are going to play really well. And because this bye week, you have so much time to evaluate and spend on what happened. That drive at the end of the half was so important. And, again, things will move, and we're going to be playing the Denver Broncos next week, and that will change the conversation. But when you have what we saw, that narrative is now what that narrative is. Had he went down and led us to a touchdown, the complete narrative of that game changes. And is that right? No, it's probably not. But it's the reality of NFL football, playing quarterback. And as Matt LaFleur told Jason, that's what people write about and talk about because that's what it's so important. And maybe that is where Jordan Love's at. But right now, I think he has to evaluate, and they have to evaluate, what can we do to help make Jordan Love a better player? What that answer is running the football. How do you get better at it? Get Aaron Jones back. Is it as simple as that? Man, I hope so.
You want to talk to Ed in Virginia on the talk and text line, or should we go to – yeah, sure, let's go to Ed in Virginia. Ed, 844-770-3776. Welcome to Wilde and Tausch. Ed, what do you got on Jordan Love? Better, worse, or exactly what you expected?
It would have made me really sad had Tausch said, no, let's not talk to him. So I would.
It's a bold way to start, Ed.
I love that Ed just put it out there, man. Yeah, you put it out there. You're on board, Ed. Go for it.
I would say both. I mean, part of it was I don't think I understood how horrible the Bears were going into that game. But after the first two games, I was really impressed. And then the next three games, I mean, they've just been such a letdown with offenses in the first quarter. I can't remember which one it was where they had like 5 yards. It was almost like you couldn't have imagined they could do that badly. But my worry for Jordan has always been whether or not he has the head to do it. And I think of the qualities that Wilde kind of likes about him. I'm not sure that puts him in the head of a great quarterback. Like, part of what made Aaron Rodgers so great is when people complained about Aaron. If someone were to complain about Aaron after a couple games, I think Aaron's reaction would generally be, who the hell cares what this blank
off
thing?
Yep.
Yeah. Whereas I don't see Jordan doing that. And I think that's my worry for him, is that he's just too nice of a guy, and he's going to have things get into his head that are not going to make it so that he can be elite. I think, he might be, he might turn out to be really good and stuff, but I'm just not sure he has the head to be elite.
That's an interesting take, Ed. Yeah. Hey, thanks for the call. We appreciate that. Tausch, what do you think of that from Ed in Virginia?
You want to have some dog in you. There's no doubt about that.
For the record, Jason's not here. I would imagine he would disagree with what Ed is assessing there. He would say that Jordan is poised and a leader, and in the locker room he has everyone's respect.
Ed wasn't saying that. I think that's the part that Jason likes and Ed likes. I think what he's asking is, does he have that blank you mentality? Like, I don't care what you write. I don't care that this is the case. And I don't know if he has that. I want that in my quarterback too. And I think Jordan Love has shown, whether it's running and picking up a first down, running somebody over, that's the kind of stuff that you're like, I would disagree with that. I think he hasn't been put in position really to show it, because has he had much criticism? Not really.
I'd say he's been criticized since the minute he was drafted. And the idea of him has been criticized more than he himself has been criticized.
And who picked him, I don't think anybody has been, well, Jordan loves this. It was more.
Well, I mean, I sat in Hunter's chair saying I don't think he's any good.
What he even looks like, because you never saw him.
But we saw him in preseason. We heard what people said about him, and I knew enough to assert that I didn't think he'd be any good. He's been better than I thought.
At this point, I don't think you could sit here and say, well, he hasn't shown any dog. I think he has. He's run people over. He's been criticized for not sliding. That's the part of the competitive fire that you love. He's brought his team back from 17 down. There's been some stuff. I don't need my quarterback to be a complete J-Wad. I don't. I want him to be a bold leader that people want to succeed with. And I don't think there's any question the guys in that locker room want to succeed with him. They want to follow him. They want him to lead. And I think he has showcased that part of his game. I don't think anybody could argue. Now, whether or not he's going to be good enough, accurate enough, those are your questions.
Dave and Aaron, well played. He needs a little dog, maybe a little gun in him. 844.
I don't know how there's a reason that because I've been trying to piece that together for like 2 or 3 weeks. And
you spent 2 to 3 weeks on that?
I mean, just because
home, sipping his Tito's. I wonder how that goes.
So many times, like that quote makes sense with what's going on with the Green Bay Packers. And I wanted to bring it up, but I always thought it was something about a dog. And your statement with the rabbit, it ain't no fun when the rabbit's got the gun. That's what I was looking for, but I never thought rabbit. I always thought dog.
Are you thinking of the quote that says it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog?
It was a gun with a rabbit.
Oh, my goodness.
Hunter has it. I mean, he just went through it. But
it wasn't even close to what you were saying, which makes me think there's something else.
And that's why, this is what I was thinking. That's why I struggled with it, is because I was a little further off the beaten path than maybe I thought I was.
Maybe another Tito's you would have been able to establish what that quote was, actually, when you were contemplating fireside in your recliner chair.
Oh, indeed. Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate back tap for batched cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 to enter. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
So here's how the rest of the show is going to go. Hunter Vaughn's going to lead us in a game of blind resumes, one of our favorite games that we get to play when Hunter steps into as the cousin sub of the day producing the show. We're going to do that next. Fun category. I heard what it is. It's going to be good. Whoa Hunter, replacing Whoa Nelly, will take place after that.
Okay.
And then end of show trivia.
EOT.
End of show trivia returns
EOST.
1 week after we said we would never do it again. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. It could be a disaster. Who knows? That's all coming up. Blind resumes are next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. Whether you're saving up to buy a jersey for your new favorite player, tickets to a game, or simply need some extra spending money for you and your family, it's always great to learn new ways to save some extra cash. Well, I've been telling you for a while now about how you can save money and help save the planet by making the switch to Everlight Solar. When my family first thought about making the energy switch to solar, we weren't exactly sure where to go. That's when we got in touch with the team at Everlight Solar, and through every step of the process, they were great as we made that switch to solar. If you're interested in making the switch, let them do the same for you. Check out everlightsolar.com to find out more and schedule a free consultation. Save money and help save the planet. When you're ready to make the switch, take my word for it. Count on the team at Everlight Solar.
Every Thursday this football season, huddle up for the Great Dane Huddle, live from the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company.
Hey, it's Alex Stroh. Join me and former Badgers and NFLers Tarek Saleh and Derek Engler this Thursday for the Great Dane Huddle, live from the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. We react to the Monday night game between Green Bay and Las Vegas and the Badgers' homecoming win over Rutgers. Thursday from 6 to 7 on ESPN Madison.
The Great Dane Huddle with Alex Stroh, Tarek Saleh, and Derek Engler. Thursdays at 6 on 100.5 ESPN.
Zimbrick Chevrolet.
When was the last time you had your oil changed or your tires rotated? Do you need new tires, a battery, perhaps some windshield wipers? Zimbrick Chevrolet Service Center is equipped to help you with routine maintenance, major repairs, and everything in between. Get your free battery inspection coupon and schedule an appointment today at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Don't overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie.
Main Street, Sun Prairie, Zimbrick Chevrolet.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers individual and group lessons for players of all ages and skill levels. Get developed by some of the best baseball coaches in the area and utilize GRB's 52,000 square foot facility, 14 batting cages, and 6,000 square foot weight room. Visit GRBacademy.com to sign up now. That's GRBacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
Dash the Dane. That's right, Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company has expanded their delivery offerings with DoorDash. New customers get $5 off your first order of $25 or more. And don't forget, Dash Pass subscribers always receive free delivery. Order delivery today at GreatDanePub.com or on the DoorDash app and get food delivered from the Great Dane closest to you. Downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994.
Investing in commercial real estate is never simple. From acquiring a property to managing the day-to-day, even the best investors need a partner they can trust. Rely on the agents at RE/MAX and the Preferred Commercial Group to build your desired lifestyle in real estate. Whether you want someone to take the wheel or just need a second opinion, head to commercialwisconsin.com/ESPN and find an investment partner to lead the way to your property dreams today. That's commercialwisconsin.com/ESPN.
Take charge of your health today. Join Stoughton Health for a 30-minute well-being screening at the Stoughton Health Community Health and Wellness Center from 7 to 11 a.m. on October 5th, 11th, or 14th. Screenings are $35, and screenings offered include blood pressure, body composition, bone density, cholesterol, blood sugar, functional movement, and more. To schedule your 30-minute appointment, visit stoughtonhealth.com. Then click on Classes and Events. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
Today on ESPN Radio. Down 2-1, the Braves face a must-win Game 4. Will they survive? Or are the Phillies moving on to the NLCS?
Tonight on 100.5 ESPN. Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Baby, you just a little loco, like boats in Acapulco. I'm just riding the wave. Baby, you just a little loco.
Against my better judgment, I'm going to read this text before we do our blind resume game with Hunter Vaughn, and is our cousin sub of the day producing.
Why
Jesse
is it
and
against
Tausch
your
today.
better judgment?
You'll find out once I read it. Jim on the south side. How about no trivia today or tomorrow and triple trivia Monday
Jimmy.
when Jason's back?
I like where Jimmy's head's at.
It's a
I do.
terrible idea. Terrible. I'm not opposed to double trivia tomorrow.
Double trivia. I kind of want to try to see if we can rebound from our really, really poor performance.
At end of show?
Yeah, at end of show.
Okay.
So
they say, like with Jordan Love, you got to get back on the horse, have a short memory.
Yeah,
Instead of letting it linger, let's get back out.
That's why I wish
on.
the Packers are playing this weekend for a couple of reasons. We haven't had a Sunday game in forever. And when you lose a game like that, you don't want to sit and fester. Not like your mac and cheese where you let it fester for 2 weeks.
Musty Mac.
Get back on the deal.
All right, Hunter Vaughn, one of his specialties when he steps in to produce this show, whether I'm here or not, is leading us in a game of blind resumes.
I've always enjoyed this game from Hunter, and whenever Hunter's producing, I'm always excited because we have a very, very good producer.
Yeah.
And then he brings this game to it, too.
Yep. Hunter, what is the category that you'll lead us in the blind resumes for today?
I went with NFL head coaches through the first 4 years of their career. Now, we're turning it back, too, on this. All the way back to the furthest back I went was the 70s.
Oh, good Lord.
So we've got a wide window.
So we just say we would prefer this or we would not like this. Is
Yeah.
that-
And guess who they are. And
Gotcha.
I like comparing to Matt LaFleur, whether you would take this or not.
Not many people are gonna match up with Matty Ice.
Oh, let's find out. Hunter, take it away.
This first coach won 52% of his games, or he went 32-29 and 1-2 in the playoffs. And I'll even give you guys a hint. His first 4 years of coaching, it was the early 2000s.
Okay, say that again. 32-29.
32-29, 1-2 in the playoffs.
Oh.
It's not as good as LaFleur.
Started his coaching career in the early 2000s.
Oh, is it Andy Reid?
It's not. I almost put him on here, but he's not on here.
Because I know they sucked in the playoffs for a while in Philadelphia. Dang. Okay.
1-2 in the playoffs.
So he's an active head coach as well.
Oh, are all of these coaches active?
No. Not all of them are.
Said
this
one was
is.
in the 70s.
Fair point.
50 years ago.
Fair point. Belichick?
No, this was Ron Rivera, current Commanders head coach.
What?
Who was he coaching in 2000?
Carolina. He started in like 2002, I think it was.
Don Capers was there.
Well,
I don't remember the exact year, but he was
Okay.
But
early
that's
2000.
anyway. That's Ron Rivera's
Yeah, I
resume.
think Ron
Okay.
Rivera's time is coming
Riverboat
to an end.
Ron.
Yeah, he's not
Dunzo.
Riverboat
Yeah.
Ron anymore.
Yeah.
Once he punted down 14 in the Super Bowl with like 8
You're
minutes
revoked.
left, I say you can no longer be Riverboat Ron. You can be like ferry, like riding a ferry Ron. But you can't be a Riverboat Ron anymore.
Bingo Hall Ron.
Yeah, bingo, like a nice game of canasta. You can't be Riverboat Ron. I was at the game, and I'm literally like, what the hell are you doing? There's 8 minutes left.
In the Super Bowl.
You're punting. You're down 14. You ain't no Riverboat Ron this.
All right, who you got next?
Next, this coach coached in the 80s. He won 73% of his games in
That's
the
good.
first 4 years.
Very good.
3 division titles. He did lose in the divisional round and a conference championship game.
I'm going to say Bill Walsh.
Time-traveling Matt LaFleur.
No.
I have no idea who it was.
Bill Walsh.
Okay, I'll go Bill Walsh.
It was not Bill Walsh.
Yeah.
He did also win a Super Bowl, but I felt like it would give it away.
George Seifert.
No. Mike Ditka.
Ah, Ditka. Okay. That's pretty good. I didn't realize he was that successful that early when he took over the Chicago Bears.
I mean, it helps when you have the greatest running back of all time.
It's true. So, okay, Ditka versus LaFleur.
If you get one Super Bowl, all's forgiven.
So
Ditka got one. Had Ditka not won a Super Bowl, they would be crushing him because they had those great defense. Matter of fact, most people are looking, why did you not win more than one? But does that stop them from celebrating and having all these old guys back at car shows and everything else? No, because the Bears were starving for one, just like Holmgren. Holmgren does get castigated for not winning 2, but you still are revered for winning the 1. Ditka should have won a 2, but the fact that the Bears had taken forever to get one, they'll forgive him because he got that 1.
What's fascinating is if sports talk the way we do it today existed, if columnists existed today the way that in the 70s when Ditka took over, the way that they do today, I wonder if the same conversation about Matt LaFleur would be had about Ditka. Does that make sense?
Well, I
kind of stumbled over that.
Coach K would not have lasted in today's environment because he stunk his first 3 or 4 years at Duke. And then all of a sudden he stunk until he didn't. Allowed for growth. You allowed for not
growth
that
and
linear
failure.
growth.
Yeah. Uh-huh. What's next, Hunter?
Next, this is the oldest coach that I went back on. He won 73% of his games in the 70s.
Ditka.
Went 2-3 in the playoffs. And won 3 division titles.
Any championships?
Eventually, yes.
John Madden.
You got it.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
He went 38, 12, and 6.
He
in his
was
first 4
viewed
years.
very similarly to like a Matt LaFleur or Steve Mariucci. He won a ton, couldn't get by the Steelers. And then he got his butt hauled off the field in a big old championship and then became obviously a great broadcaster, video game guru, everything else. But it all comes back to you can lose, you can have a tough spot. Marty Schottenheimer, not viewed the same way, never got over the hump. Great NFL football coach. Marty Schottenheimer, great coach. Doesn't get the flowers because he didn't get it done. Should have with Cleveland, should have with the Chargers, didn't. I hope Matt LaFleur is going to be more John Madden-esque than he is going to be Marty Schottenheimer.
So let's do one more, Hunter. I love your polo, by the way, Star Wars polo.
Thank you.
It's a good
Got
one.
it from our teammate Matt Hamilton.
That's a good one. All right, one more for the blind resumes.
Oh, Matt Hamilton from Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton Show.
Full name guy, yeah.
This coach won 70% of his games, 1-2 in the playoffs, lost in a conference title game and in the wild card, only won 1 division title.
What years?
Don't make him give you the years.
I don't have the exact
Modern or
years.
old? Modern or old?
Modern.
Okay. Can you give it the resume one more time, please?
70% of his games, 1-2 in the playoffs with a loss in the the conference championship, and the wild card, and won 1 division title.
Okay, so it's a team that had a first-round bye at some point.
Never won a Super Bowl.
Conference title. I have a guess.
At least not in his first 4 years.
Okay. Oh. Well, my guess was going to be Zach Taylor of the Cincinnati Bengals, but I think the way you just said that, it would be incorrect.
They made a Super Bowl, too. They did not.
Yeah. Whoops. Okay, terrible guess. McDermott.
No.
I'm going to say Sean Payton.
No, that was Mike McCarthy.
Oh, of course he would do McCarthy.
And just to put all of these in context, I kind of had an agenda for Packer fans here. Matt LaFleur, 47-19. I'm not counting this year because this is year 5. 3 division titles, 2 and 3 in the playoffs.
So by resume, he appears to be better than all of the names in the
Correct.
resumes
Outside
he
of
just gave
Ditka
us.
getting that 1 Super Bowl in his 4th year.
And many of those coaches are looked back on as potential Hall of Fame head coaches, some of the greats, the legends. I don't know how we'll end up looking back on McCarthy when it's all said and done, but I think right now
we're going to look at Matt LaFleur when
right
it's all
now
said
it's looked
and done.
back favorably on McCarthy's time, I think, in Green Bay for the most part. So that's fascinating. What I think stands out to me most from that exercise is that the critique of Matt LaFleur may be warranted because we haven't seen what he's done without Aaron Rodgers to this point, but what he has done up to this point deserves more praise than I think he's getting.
I think he got a lot of praise. His
Early
first 3
on-
years, he was praised beyond belief. You got to win in the postseason. That's what this is about. So, no, Matt LaFleur,
But is he even going to get a chance to get to the postseason
I don't think Matt
again?
LaFleur has gotten any of the criticism. I think we're finally seeing, because Aaron Rodgers took all the criticism, took all the glory, but took all the criticism. Now Matt LaFleur is going to be criticized. If this team continues on this track where they're offensively executing as poorly as they are, Jordan Love will take heat. Matt LaFleur will take more heat than Jordan Love.
What I wonder is, has the narrative already been written on Matt LaFleur's legacy? Like, let's because hear me out on this.
Okay, but
if the team is bad this year, as some have addressed, and the poll question has reflected, they're probably not going to make the playoffs this year. Is what the vibe is right now today. They might, but right now I would say they're probably not a playoff team. If they don't make the playoffs again next year, is he done? Does he not get a chance to prove that he can win in the postseason again in Green Bay if they miss the playoffs 2 years in a row?
That you're going way too far to say that. I need to see what the offseason happens. But if you miss the playoffs 2 years in a row, which would end up being 3 years in a row, I think he'd be in trouble.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He'd need a good night's sleep. Take your sleep to the next level with a Tempur-Pedic Ergo Smart Base from Steinhafels. The base automatically raises your head when it detects snoring. Wow. Giving you a better, more restful night's sleep.
Got to get you
right
one
now,
of those.
Ergo Smart Bases start at only $37 per month when you use Steinhafel 72-month financing. Plus, starting today through Sunday, when you spend over $29.99 using their 36 or 72-month financing, you'll get $100 in MasterCard reward card credit. Stop in, store, or shop online at steinhafels.com.
Whoa, Nelly, featuring Hunter Vaughn. Whoa, Hunter is coming up next, followed by end of show trivia. It's all still ahead. Jesse and Tausch on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Olson Toon has been customizing both residential and commercial outdoor living spaces since 1997. Matt Hamilton here from ESPN Madison. For over 50 years of combined experience in their management and design teams, Olson Toon has become one of Wisconsin's premier building and landscaping outdoor living firms. Landscaping and maintenance, irrigation, concrete work, pools, and more. If you have an outdoor living need, Olson Toon is here to help. Go to olsontoon.com to get started on your home project today. That's olsontoon.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
In a world without Mountain Dew, life would be pretty dull. Because when you crack open an ice-cold Mountain Dew, you enter a world where the ground rules of life are a little different. So grab yourself a Mountain Dew and get that incomparable blast of neon citrus flavor. Together with Mountain Dew, there's nothing you can't do and almost nothing you won't do to take things to the next level. Hey, the operating rule is pretty simple. If you're not having an outrageously good time, you're not drinking Dew. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Big trucks can be intimidating. If you've been seriously injured in a truck crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Trucking law can be extremely complicated. You don't want to take on the insurance company alone. Gruber Law Offices has the experience, the resources, and of course, the results. We know truck law. We know the rules and regulations. We know what it takes to win. Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Fish fry, walleye, and vegetarian options are available, and they have a menu that's sure to please everyone. Liberty Station smokes their meats daily with a 1,000-gallon custom smoker, giving you the freshest experience possible. Enjoy happy hour with daily discounts on both food and drinks at their large bar with 20 draft taps and multiple TVs to watch the big game. Be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area too. Liberty Station off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
Before and after every Wisconsin football game, the party rolls on with ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Hey, it's Alex Strofe. Big game Saturday between Bucky and Iowa coming to town. Join Colin Russo and Adam Mertz immediately following the game at Fifth Quarter Bar and Grill in Verona, breaking down everything that happens at Camp Randall. Immediately following the game Saturday, right here on 100.5 ESPN.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, before and after every Wisconsin football game on 100.5 ESPN.
All right, Team Pella, listen up.
Thanks, John Kuhn. Customers love our products with limited lifetime warranties. Check out these big plays. Incredible innovations like blinds and shades between the glass.
No interference on that play, Coach.
And stylish windows with hidden screens that make game days a breeze.
Can it get any better?
It can. With monthly payments as low as $19 per window, $75 per patio door, and a free quote at PellaWI.com.
Let's go.
6.99 APR for 120 months. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offers at 10/31/2023.
Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. Win game day gear by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill or a Brewmate. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 plus to enter.
I can't wait to prove the doubters wrong on end of show trivia. I've totally changed my tune on. I said last week we would never do it again.
Yeah, I knew you would. It's fun.
1 week later, we're going to get back on the horse. Wilde and Tausch trivia is coming up to close out the show. Before we get to that, we get to Whoa Hunter.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I got to stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
Well, I played Chelsea's Dagger to open up this segment because hockey's back. The Blackhawks have already played 2 games.
Whoa, Nelly.
Oh, stop it. Last night, Connor Bedard scored his first goal. I've got the audio from the call on TNT.
Yeah, no one wants to hear this.
I do.
There's Bedard dropping it back off Donato. Now Bedard with a shot, saved by Olmark. Coming around is Bedard!
He scores!
Didn't even make the first
His
shot.
first National Hockey League goal!
So right
Great,
away,
good job.
since I knew I was producing, and Jesse Nelson did nothing athletically in his life, so this is just for you, Tausch.
Pulled a $2.99.
Cool. What's the equivalent of a first goal for a lineman in the NFL?
First start. I think first start would probably be the equivalent. I was going to say first penalty or first sack.
First holding. Oh, I made it now, guys.
First time you don't give up a sack. I don't. There isn't a great quantifying statistic outside of, I would say the closest thing, obviously Bedardzi also had a start. I'm assuming he's probably on the first line. But that would be it is the first start. I'm sure he'll always remember that you get a game ball. I don't know if I got a game ball you didn't get it for first start, but you should have, because it's an important moment. That's when you, wow, I'm here. And I'm sure that's how Bedardzi felt last night.
Did they win the game?
They did not win last night, but they came back in game one.
That's a shame.
At Pittsburgh, they were down 2-0, and they came back to win 4-2.
Pittsburgh's past their
toe
prime.
drag release, TDR. Coach Chippy.
I learned something.
You want a good follow on Instagram, Coach Chippy. Coach Chippy gives you all the stuff, and as a hockey dad, he's fantastic. You end up hearing and seeing a lot of stuff, and you have some stuff to talk to your kid about hockey that's not him or his teammates. It's a fun little deal. Coach Chippy. He's a big Bedardzi guy.
Is Coach Chippy just like some random guy that you've
No, he's no random dude. He's got a great following. If you have any interest in learning more about hockey and toe drag release, or as I call it, TDR, Coach Chippy will cover you.
Whoa, Nelly!
Oh, I got Hunter to whoa Nelly.
Shout out Coach Chippy.
I was
rather
just
talk about him than
preemptively
Bedardzi.
whoa-nellying Jesse.
Bedardzi's fun. Exciting that he's down in Chicago.
Great. Wake me up in the playoffs.
Well, we're going to keep the hockey talk going. The Blackhawks head coach, Luke Richardson, he was talking to the media.
Okay. Is there something outside of hockey? Because, listen, I love hockey. People don't love hockey.
Well, I love hockey, and
We
I thought
don't
this was
have
whoa,
a hockey.
Hunter.
We don't have a hockey team.
What is this one about? Because we might have to whoa this one. 2 is a lot. What do you got?
So he ran into Connor Bedard's mom.
Okay, now I'm interested.
And she said he was looking at an apartment in the same complex as the head coach. And he was like, oh, yeah, it's a great place. And she's like, yeah, well, we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. You know, he has to make the team first.
Sure.
So right away I thought that's exactly how my dad would act. So I wanted to know which parent for you guys would be the one to kind of put you in your place. And even though if you're a generational talent, you still have to make the team.
I'm glad I didn't whoa Hunter this, because I have a very similar story. So when you're a rookie, they put you up in a hotel. And some of the guys, like Cliffy, who is a second-round pick, goes and gets a really nice apartment, fully loads it, Steinhoffels it, the whole deal. I'm starting all the preseason games. Started all of them. Pretty good idea I was going to make the team, and I refused to get a lease or rent something until I knew I was going to make the team. Now, is that smart? It probably wasn't, because I ended up probably not getting exactly where I wanted to live. And so there's a yin and a yang
started
to
looking,
it. Yeah,
just not,
I probably should have, but I didn't want to jinx anything. I like this. That tells me that even though this kid is the most hyped prospect since probably Crosby, is there somebody else? He has been hyped. I knew about him 3 years ago. That's how great this is as a junior. I love the fact that he's still got that, I got to prove everything about it. I love it. I think this makes me even more of a Bedardzi fan than before.
If you were renting an apartment in Green Bay and you found a really great spot, corner, pool downstairs, workout room, close to all your favorite spots, but McCarthy lived on the 4th level and you would be on the 2nd, would you move in there?
No.
In the event that your paths would cross?
I would not. But you know what? As you find out, like if you think you're getting away with shenanigans and staying out late and drinking too much, you're not getting away with it. They know everything. There are people that report, well, you sure old T was out as a Friday night. Old T was out at Kittner's until 3 in the morning. Even if McCarthy, there's something different about secondhand knowledge, and you stumble in and you see Mike, but then if you actually do that, You could say, what are you doing here, Mike? What are you doing up till 3 in the morning?
Yeah.
So there's a give and a take, but no, I don't want to be near my head coach, assistant coach, position coach, strength coach. You just don't want that.
That's it for Whoa Hunter. Want to make sure we have enough time to play end of show trivia. I hope you have a better showing tomorrow. Hockey. Yeah. Tausch, if you want to talk hockey on Wilde and Tausch, you can talk Prize Picks. Because I will put in a
Shots
friendly
on
projection.
goal, saves.
I like less in the first 6 or 7 minutes.
I saw Bedardzi. He's been more on his shots. They don't quite know how many shots old Bedardzi's going to throw up. You just saw 2 shots thrown up in that little clip that he played. You got hockey. You got cricket. Euro basketball is something that I think I need to start looking at. NASCAR season's closing up. In Major League Baseball, they have it all. Prize Picks is daily fantasy sports made easy, and it's simple. You're not going against other people, just Prize Picks' projections. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. You have safe and fast withdrawals. Download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up today. Use that promo code WI. And if you do that, you get a 100% match. $100, Prize Picks gives you $100. Again, use that promo code WI and get your instant match up to $100.
The time is now 844-770-3776. End of show. Wilde and Tausch trivia. 844-770-3776. The Jesse Special with me hosting for Jason today. State Capitals is today's trivia category. Caller 5. Caller 5. 844-770-3776. Got to be brief. End of show trivia. Please don't let anything go wrong. Next on Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Mark Tosher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you at greatdanepub.com. The nationally top-ranked Wisconsin volleyball team is rolling. The Badgers have won 21 straight sets and have yet to drop a set in Big Ten play. The team is 15-0 overall and 6-0 in conference play and prepares for a 2-match homestand this weekend. Friday night, the Badgers will host Rutgers, and Sunday play host to Maryland. Recapping last week, middle blocker C.C. Crawford was named the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week thanks to 12 blocks and 2 3-set wins over Iowa and Illinois.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
ESPN Madison is on Wisconsin sports. Catch up on anything you missed on the Varsity Podcast on Wisconsin On Demand. Brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of Wisconsin Badger Athletics. If you're looking to purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Honda, shop local, part of the Madison community since 1973.
Grassland Dairy is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin and sustained by innovation. Since 1904, the Wietrich family has worked with hundreds of dairy farmers to consistently produce the highest quality dairy products. Grassland's commitment to quality starts with the way their dairy farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of their innovative processing and delivery. They are proud to offer a wide range of reliable and nutritious dairy ingredients. Grassland Dairy is family owned in Wisconsin and has been crafting butter for 5 generations.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Wisconsin needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Every Thursday this football season, huddle up for the Great Dane Huddle, live from the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company.
Hey, it's Alex Strofe. Join me and former Badgers and NFLers Tarek Saleh and Derek Engler this Thursday for the Great Dane Huddle, live from the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company. We react to the Monday night game between Green Bay and Las Vegas and the Badgers' homecoming win over Rutgers. Thursday from 6 to 7 on ESPN Madison.
The Great Dane Huddle with Alex Strofe, Tarek Saleh, and Derek Engler. Thursdays at 6 on 100.5 ESPN.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Hey, it's Hunter Vaughn. ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see teams making an impact in their community. Nominate your local team today at ESPNMadisonGameChangers.com.
Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. Win game day gear by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill or a Brewmate. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 plus to enter.
All right, 1 week later, after it was a debacle last week and we said we would never do it again.
I don't think it was our fault, though. I think it was the connection.
Right, but that's what you run into
Yeah,
potentially at end of show
rolled the dice,
trivia.
baby, yeah.
It is time to play Wilde and Tausch trivia.
Normally you want risk reward. I don't know what exactly is the reward for doing it at the end.
The thrill of the adventure
Okay,
for
I'm on
you
board.
primarily.
Listen, you know I love this more than anybody.
If you have fun, all of us are having fun, and I hope Brian in Milwaukee is about to have some fun. Brian, welcome to Wilde and Tausch trivia. How you doing?
Thank you, guys. Doing well. Thanks.
We're looking forward to it. We got to be brief because it's end of show trivia.
Plenty of time.
About
What
2.5
time
minutes. No, let's
okay,
go.
not
Let's
plenty
go.
of time. All right, Brian. What is the capital of South Dakota? Is it Pierre?
That would be Pierre.
Yeah, look at him. Look at him helping us out, getting done fast.
Wanted to get to Pierre, Champagne, or Croissant. Didn't even get.
I was going to nail the croissant.
I'm
too.
sure you would, as per usual. Question 2, Brian in Milwaukee. Which of these Big Ten schools has its main campus located in a capital city? Maryland, Ohio State, or Indiana?
Ohio State.
In Columbus, the capital of Ohio. 2 for 2.
I always say Ohio is the Wisconsin. When we start matching up cities, very, very similar. Last one. Latitudinally.
Oh, look at that.
Which of these capital cities is located farthest north? Is it Topeka, Kansas, Carson City, Nevada, or Raleigh, North Carolina?
Oh man,
That's a
I'm going to
hard
go with.
question. Tough
I'm going to.
question.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Raleigh.
Almost a perfect day, Brian. We left enough time on the clock. Do you want to try and Tausch it?
Jefferson City.
I love the fact Jefferson City wasn't even a guess. And you got the correct answer, Carson City.
Carson City was
By the
an
way,
option.
Jesse, this is jerk storish. You're talking about being by 1/100th of a degree. Topeka, Kansas to Carson City,
That's
Nevada.
a lot when you're talking latitudinally
It is
in
not
the
a
grand
lot.
scope of latitude.
Hunter, is that a lot?
I don't know. We have a minute left.
All right.
Thanks,
well,
Brian.
You got 2. You get 3 entries. Brian, thanks for playing and being a good sport about finishing at the end of the day. I think you're going to win. I think he's going to win tomorrow.
How
That's what I
can you
think.
possibly say
He's
that?
got 3 entries. It's the best we've had all week.
The guy yesterday got them all right.
Okay, I was wrong. Good luck to you, though.
Final returns on the poll question in the field on Twitter at Wilde and Tausch. Jordan Love, better than you expected, worse than you expected, exactly what you expected. Exactly at 67%, worse 21, better 12.
Okay, so the better's climbing. Long road to go in the Jordan Love saga. But so far, I think he's been better than what we anticipated during training camp.
Rob Domofsky, the Badgers outsider, and a special guest to be announced, scheduled to appear tomorrow. We'll hang around with you tomorrow as well. And as Jason always says, have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin On Demand.